Good evening, and we'll call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin, Ms. Crawford,
Present.
Ms. Hurst,
Present.
Mr. Gomez,
Present.
Ms. Gresham,
Present. Present.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Present.
Mayor Sarno.
President, if we could all please rise for a moment of silence and the pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Can work out with these chairs. Speaking of working out, Trini, you could work out with the package you gave us this week too. I'll tell you that. Well, we're back. We had a great opening of school. It's been very, very good, an outstanding convocation, and I'm sure that Superintendent Dr. Sonia Denal will elaborate that in her report. So let's move to the agenda. Section 2 is approval of the minutes. A vote to approve the minutes of school committee's meeting, special meeting on May 7, 2026 at 5 p.m. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Hurst, second. Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, one insufficient votes, matter passes. B, a vote to approve the minutes of the school committee special meeting on May 7th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Valentin. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you. C, a vote to approve the minutes of school committee's special meeting on May 21st, 2026. Any Central's in the house. Principal Tokars, too. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, is a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient vote, matter passes. D, a vote to approve the minutes of school committee regular meeting on May 21st, 2026. If there's no questions, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Hurst, or second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gomez. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, passes. E, vote to approve the minutes of school committee special meeting on June 8th, 2026. If there's no questions, motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. F, vote to approve the minutes for school committee special meeting on June 18th, 2026. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion, all in unison here. Motion by Ms. Hurst, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you. G, a vote to approve the minutes of school committee's regular meeting on June 18th, 2026. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
So moved. So
Motion by Ms. Hurst, second.
second.
Second by Ms. Valentin. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Monroe-Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. And H, vote to approve the minutes of school committee's emergency special meeting on June 24th, 2026. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Gomez, there's second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. And finally, on the minutes, a vote to approve the minutes of school committee special meeting on August 19th, 2026. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor, please?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Valentin, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, this matter passes. We're going to move to section 3, voting items. And let me just do a introduction here on this. Many of these items that you're going to see is voting through contractual items, other things that were by a lot of hard work and due diligence is done by the subcommittees. So they spend many hours on this. So if you see us gabbling things through, a lot of work has already been done to bring it forward for an up or down vote, and many times affirmative vote on the school committee. A vote to approve the request to school committee for Shia Ansi Kerlock be awarded the City of Springfield diploma, and I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denall, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. It's good to be back. Happy first week of school. It is a pleasure indeed to present Shia Anise Kerlock to receive the diploma for the City of Springfield. She has met all graduation requirements, and her graduation date will actually be June 4th. So we appreciate the approval of the school committee and say congratulations to Ms. Kerlock.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denall. Thank you, Dr. Yolanda Johnson, on that. Do we have any questions or comments besides congratulations to Ms. Kerlock? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Neal.
Second.
Second by Ms. Valentin. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. B, and they're in the house, too. The Championship Central Girls Basketball Team. Let's put our hands together. And outstanding Principal Tad Tokars and outstanding coach, Mr. G. Coach G is in the back there, too. So, B is a vote to approve Central High School's girls basketball overnight field trip request to Nike Tournament of Champions, which you are champions, in Phoenix, Arizona, and it doesn't snow in Phoenix, Arizona. Leaving on December 17th, 2026, and returning on December 23rd. And again, Coach James G. is here, and Mr. Central Principal Tad Tokar is here. Let me turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denall, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I will not delay. I will ask Dr. Tokars to join us at the podium, and please introduce your phenomenal women's basketball team. Wonderful job, ladies, for last season. We look forward to more of the same. Bring back a W from Phoenix, Arizona. Please go ahead.
These are our Lady Eagles, and they can't be more proud of what they've accomplished, both in the classroom and on the court. And if there's anybody that deserves this opportunity, it's these young ladies, because they just do everything right. They're fun to be around. They work tirelessly, and we are excited to help provide for this opportunity. They're fantastic people, and I think we can create a memory that they'll never forget.
Thank you, Principal Tokars. Coach G, you want to introduce the young ladies here and your staff and what position you play and continue excelling both on and off the court. We're very, very proud of you. You make yourselves proud, your families proud, and the city of Springfield proud. Championship coach James G.
Thank you, school committee, for giving us the opportunity to come here and present ourselves. The girls are very excited about this opportunity to travel to the #1 high school tournament in the country, the Nike Tournament of Champions, and be able to, represent Springfield, Massachusetts, and everything we represent as a school. And first, we have our guard here, Ariana. Say hello.
Stand up, Brad.
Actually, Coach G, they are scholars and athletes. I believe they can come to the mic.
Yeah.
and introduce themselves?
That's
Thank you so
They all
much.
carry over 3.0 averages, all AB students, so absolutely they can stay very well spoken. So.
That's per order of the superintendent here. Okay. Ariana, come on up, Ariana. Oh, Ariana, come on back up. Tell us your full name and position again. Yeah, you first. Yeah, come on. We didn't get the whole thing.
My name is Ariana De Jesus, and I play point guard.
All right.
Hi, my name is Kyla Ito, and I'm a small forward.
All right.
Hi, my name is Genesis Grimes, and I'm a forward.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jada Watson, and I'm a wing.
Hey, tell the coach we sit alone. Miss Watson, tell the coach tell Pop we sit alone. Good luck this year. Maybe he'll pick up UMass too. That's okay. I laugh sometimes too.
Wait, what did I say?
Yeah.
My name's Jador, and I play guard.
Okay.
My name's Nolani Rodriguez, and I'm the point guard.
All right.
My name is Keishla Rodriguez, and I'm a guard.
Yeah.
My name is
Okay.
I'm Alicia Murphy, and I'm a center.
All right.
My name is Zion Wallace, and I'm a forward.
Relate Ricky to Ricky Wallace? Any relation to the Ricky Wallace, the family there? No.
And also, my great coaching staff back here. I have Shreya Haynes.
Come on up. Come on.
If you don't know, Shreya is a Central graduate,
Yeah.
state champion
Yeah.
there as well.
Yeah.
Went on to play college basketball, scholarship basketball, and has returned to the coaching staff, returned to Springfield.
All right.
I'm Coach Haynes.
Thanks, Coach. And I know there's one of your ball players too, former ball players there, right there. There she is.
Yes, this is Gina Sanchez, another state championship, Central graduate in 2017. Went on to play Division I college basketball, 1,000-point scorer, scholarship athlete, and she actually got drafted to play overseas, and she was on Sunday.
Good luck overseas.
And we also have Will Coffey, who's
Yeah.
been with us for several years now, playing college basketball, and is Springfield native too.
Thank you. Okay, so we got the whole lineup. They're ready to go. Tad, you want to say something else? You going too? No?
We've, fundraising, and we worked with our analysts to make sure that we have enough for all the girls to attend.
Very good. Is there first of all, any comments at all, or? Okay, motion on the floor. Motion by Ms. Hurst. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Hurst.
It's kind of hard to say no with them sitting right in front of us, right? But good luck. Congratulations. Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Maroon Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, board of official votes matter passed. I can see it in that game. Sure. Thanks, Dad. Coach.
But we
Good luck.
will need your
Joy.
autographs, so when you get drafted to the WNBA,
That's right.
we will have your autographs in advance. So please, make sure you give us your autographs. Have a great time, ladies. Enjoy. Represent us well. We're already proud of you. Bring back a W. Good job.
All right. Okay, C is a vote to approve renewal of option 2 on the city contract number 202500008, an agreement for the bus transportation services for 72 passenger buses, 83 passenger buses, and Type A minibuses for the Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $30 million. CFO Patrick Roach is here. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to ask Chief Roach to just stand at the podium for the remainder of the voting items pertaining to all of the contracts that are listed here. He can give you an overview and answer any questions you may have. The first item is, as stated in the agenda, for 72 passenger vans as well as additional transportation for Springfield Public Schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Denal. Dr. Denal, any questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have one question.
Sure, go ahead, Vice Chair.
Dr. Denal, can we also have a, sent to the school committee, and I don't know if it's a policy or what it is, so forgive me for not having the right terminology, but like as far as the guidelines around the students who have special needs and the small buses, if we can have just some clarification as to what's expected and what the procedure, the protocols are, things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Can I just ask a clarifying question? This is the
Roach?
procedures for the students or for the drivers or what?
Probably both sides of it. I guess what I want to understand is what the experience of a student is from the time that they are getting on the bus, what the protocols are, when they're dropped off, how are we confirming that they are getting in the house before buses leave, just stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So hand to hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to clarify that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Neal. And I have to say, too, I heard from some parents on the automated calls that go out with the school buses. Good compliments I've heard. Good news on that stuff, Sue. So thank you on that. If there's no other questions or comments, again, this is on.
I have questions.
Ms. Valentin, go ahead.
A lot of questions. Pat, you know I love to work with you, and I keep working with you. You're one of my favorite, but I have a job to do, and I have a lot of questions to ask. And the first one is, how long First Student has been servicing SPS? For how long?
I don't know the answer to that. First Student was here as the transportation vendor when I started in 2009, so they were here prior to 2009.
Is it fair to say around 26 years?
Yes, seems reasonable.
Right. Alrighty. So I remember that during the subcommittee meeting, you mentioned that this contract was put to bidding, and they were the only ones that bid on the contract. Why do you think this happened? I just want to hear it. I know.
Yeah, it's very concerning to me. This is a problem across the Commonwealth, that a lot of our fellow school committees and school districts don't get competition either. The bus contractors choose to bid on the businesses they currently have, and they don't seem to try to compete for additional business. Whether they're all colluding with each other or not, I can't say, but it's very concerning that we've done everything we can over the years to try to increase competition, and we've never had another bidder since I've been here.
So, right. So if I'm understanding right, they have an agreement between them that they would be, if they bid for a city, they're the only one bidding for the city. No one else can bid in the city, right?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but I don't know the answer to that.
No.
Okay.
You can't.
All righty. Another question. A no vote does not automatically mean children will have no transportation, right? Because in the subcommittee, you did mention that if there was a no vote, you were concerned about the kids' transportation.
Yes, I absolutely said that. First Student right now is driving our students to school every day, with the expectation of getting paid. This is a contract that they bid on and they won. And so they, in good faith are providing the services. And I would be concerned that if the school committee voted no on this contract, with our students getting to school.
Right, but this is a document that is an option to renew the existing contract that we have, right?
Yes.
For another year. there's nothing that says that transportation immediately will stop if we as a school committee does not approve this in this meeting the vote, correct?
There would be no active contract in place and no way to pay them. So, I mean, I would be concerned if we're not paying them that they would continue to donate services. If the school committee's interested in pursuing a different path, it takes a year, right? So if that's where the school committee is wanting to head, we should be talking about next year, not renewing a contract and what the steps would be and putting out another bid. But there is no other vendor who could come in and get our kids to school for Friday or Monday. There's just no one with 300 buses to come in, 300 drivers to provide transportation.
So this contract that this past contract expired in June 30th, correct? And they're seeking this renewal starting July 1st, 2026, but we're looking at this right now. How come this was not bring to us way before? You said it takes a year. I'm pretty sure that when this contract was approved last year, it have an expiration date, and someone have to see that expiration date and be mindful of starting the process before it expire, correct?
So the school committee was provided a list of all contracts with ending dates last spring. So the school committee did have that information. We renewed, the first student won the bid, of which we put out, generally it's like a 5-year contract, but it's a 1-year contract with 4 options to renew. And this is the second renewal period. So this is for year 3 of what was bid over a 5-year period, the intent of procuring services over 5 years. The options to renew give the school committee the power that if we were really unhappy with services or we didn't have the funding, we wouldn't, we could vote no on the contract.
Alrighty, so who approved for students to continue servicing the students if this contract expire on June 30th? Was it a clause that, you can continue servicing the students? I just want to ask because, as you know, I do have long history with first student transportation and the services, the poor services that they provide to our students, not only to our students, but to our parents. And I do have a list here that no one have told me, but I did have the experience of living it with first transportation, including and not limited of being disrespectful with principals and other people from school department. I remember last summer, Miss Fancy and I put a complaint with Miss Debbie Duncan, who is fabulous. She addressed it right away because I was told they don't have to talk to me. And they were very rude with Miss Fancy, was inquiring about some bus route too. So how does this happen if the contract expired the 30th?
The contract expired on June 30th, and we had summer school on July 1st. So we needed buses to drive kids to school, and we had, the expectation is that first student would be providing these services over a 5-year period, even though we had not renewed the contract because we send the renewals over to the city law department, the city procurement department, and they draft the contracts. So we're at the liberty of when the contracts go around. It was probably done in very early July, but the school committee doesn't meet until now, so it doesn't make it to the school committee. It was on the school committee secretary's desk all summer waiting for a vote. With the school committee.
If I can go, Vice Chair Naylor just wanted to do.
Yes, I just wanted to thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for a point of information that I requested that we wait and vote on it because initially what has transpired, Ms. Valentin, is that these contracts, because we voted on them for a duration of time, they were automatically just put in motion that the expectation was that we would approve it. And that was a practice that happened before you came along, before I came along. That's just what it was. However, because of the nature and the size of the contract, the superintendent was concerned about signing off on a contract without us having voted on it and approved it. Wasn't that the expectation? Wasn't that we wouldn't approve it? Because when we approve the 5 year, the expectation is that we're going to make sure our kids can get transported for summer school, for the start of the school year, and things of that nature. But the ball, even though to Mr. Roach's point, we were notified that this contract was expiring, the way that time went, we were out of commission to meet, so we just waited till we could meet and we could review them. This is why we have a million different line items tonight that we're voting on, and we went through subcommittee. So I just want to clarify that I requested that we wait, that we vote before anybody could sign it. In prior years, we signed it, and we didn't vote on it again because that was just a practice. So thankful to our attorneys that we have. They said, you know, for transparency and making sure that we're aligning everything properly, we have to not just look at past practices, but we have to look at the way that our policies are saying that we're supposed to do things. And if we want to do it differently, we can in the future. But here's the way the policy is written, and here's the way that we need to do it moving forward. So I just wanted to speak to that point so that it's clear. It wasn't like something that Mr. Roach tried to do or anything like that. It was just, this is the way it went. So the expectation was never, well, we can't transport our kids for summer school. Now they can't have summer school because, again, our practice has been, we're just going to sign off. And that's what has happened for the last umpteen years.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification.
Yes, but moving forward, that won't happen. Moving forward, it will be the way it was this year, that we will vote in advance and that the contract will be available to us before the end of June so that we can vote on it and do what we are doing now.
Thank you for the point of
And
clarification,
also,
Vice Chair.
I still have
Go ahead.
two more questions.
No, go ahead.
Haven't
It's just a
finished.
point of information.
So, is there any way that we can add to this contract, or is there any way that we can have a performance and accountability for the services they're providing, so we know how they're doing, the metrics that we can have to see if they will be up for renewal or not next year? If they, and let me ask you, have they been audited, or they have been, you know, has been any report of performance over the years? Because Mr. Roach, the list of complaint of parents are very long. As a matter of fact, I did receive one today in my phone messenger, and I was tagged on a comment for that too, and I believe someone else in the school committee was tagged too, of a bad experience starting right now at the beginning of the school year. So I would like to know if there's any way that we can put any performance and accountability in place for the services they're rendering, because this is a 30 million contract, and to receive so many complaints throughout the year, I mean throughout the school year, especially with all exceptional learners.
So that's a great question.
Pat, can I have Attorney Ian, could you come up and explain on the contractual stuff? If we don't follow through, we'll be reneging on the contract. I want the explanation that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, what was the question?
That if we didn't move on the contract, we'd be reneging on the contract and would put us in jeopardy.
If we don't vote on the contract, we could have issues on procurement law because this was put out for bids, if that's what you're getting at.
Yes.
Yes.
On that. So
They were awarded, the bid was.
They awarded.
Request for bid, they were awarded the contract. And, you know, we'd have to look really into a reason why we would not award them the contract.
which could put the district in legal jeopardy. Am I correct? And also,
It could, I mean, I'd have to really get into that, but yeah, I mean, there is some procurement issues here with not awarding the bid.
and I believe, Pat, didn't we also, I think we saved money last year and hopefully this year. I know, and again, I pay for that on the city side, so that comes out of my end of the budget.
Yes, and one of the reasons we saved money, which to go to Ms. Valentine's point, is that we do have metrics in the contract, including accountability. And last year, we assessed over $1 million in liquidated damages based on performance in the requirements that we have in that contract that we monitor on a monthly basis and that we implement it to hold them accountable.
And that was working with my internal auditor, Young No.
Mhm.
We did an audit on that after during the COVID days, after COVID days when we had some issues on it. So I just wanted to clarify, because if there's, the school committee's considering voting no on this contract, we could face legal jeopardy and challenge. Plus, we could face our kids not being picked up to go to school too if they decide to walk off the job too. I'm just saying if that happens, that's all.
Yeah, if it didn't get approved, I don't know how we'd get the kids to and from school. There's nobody out there with 300 buses
Yeah.
and drivers and who could.
I'll turn it back to Ms. Valentine. I just wanted to clarify that.
So I'm happy to come back to a subcommittee and share the data of on-time performance. On-time performance is one of the metrics
I would love,
and
yeah,
love to share with you how we look at that and what we review, as well as the actual fines we implemented last year were when they double up routes, which is one of the biggest complaints we hear. A bus driver calls out sick, so they split the kids onto two separate buses. They definitely get the kids to and from home, but they usually end up being late. So, there was over $1 million that we did not pay them for when they split up the routes last year.
Hearing, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
all right, yeah, I will really like to see the performance and accountability report that you have, or data,
Absolutely.
to see, how is it that we can continue renewing this contract with them. So what I'm hearing, Mr. Shear, is that students will not get transportation if there's a no vote. Is,
If the school committee votes no on the contract, we don't have a contract with them, and so there's no requirement that they bus our students. I can't tell you what they would do or not, but there's no one else to bus our students to school. I do agree with you on the accountability piece, and I can promise you we're monitoring and implementing every bit of the accountability.
is there any way that we can have a split contracts with probably a local company or some other company that can assist in this? Because one of the main issues that we have is that students are not picked up on time. They're not dropped off on time. I have a big problem with the company dropping off the kids in a holding center and not communicating that to the parents or to the building administrator. And then I also have problems of the way they talk to administrator from SPS when they get approached about this. And then I also have problems, with the way they talk to the parents too.
There no small local companies bid on this contract, so we're not able to just contract with them for something that First Student won the bid on. I do believe First Student's in conversations with a small local company to assist when they can't fulfill some of the services, but I'd defer to them on that.
Right. And then another situation that is often happening with transportation is, and this is the right of the driver, they call out 10 minutes before they pick up the students, and then we have the educators or the administrator working extended time, waiting for the company to find a driver. Can they come up with a plan in place to let us know how they're going to address that?
We can make them do that.
All right. Then I think that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Valentin, for those questions and getting clarification for the kids and the family.
I mean, I'm sorry that I asked so many questions,
No.
but I did really have, throughout the years, really bad experience, and no one told me this. I lived each one of these experience with First Student.
No, perfectly fine with the questions on the quality of service. But I mean, if you're looking to split counselor, that would be in violation of the contract. We could not do that. We have a contract right now.
We actually don't have a contract right now, right? That is the point.
But if we're going to vote on it, and Ms. Valentin had asked about, can we just go somewhere else? We'd be in violation of a contract.
That would be an issue with procurement. Yeah.
And they had properly bid. They were the only bidder that came on it. But on the accountability on some customer service stuff, that's fine. That should be looked into. But I just want to make sure that our kids are being transported.
Yep.
Ms. Hurst had a question, please.
I didn't, were you, oh, I didn't know if he was finished.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a couple, I guess I have some comments and some questions. I think there's a couple of things that are at play, and it's good to hear from Vice Chair Naylor that moving forward, we're going to receive these contracts in a timely manner, because if something should happen, then it would be awful that in the 11th hour, we're supposed to vote, and for some reason or another, like we saw in the subcommittee, there was a possibility that it didn't vote, or it didn't go through. I think it was like a 2-1 vote. And we wouldn't want to find ourselves not having transportation. So I think that that's really critical, that if there are services such as transportation, that if we can have those contracts sooner rather than later, or votes sooner rather than later, then we probably should do that. And we're getting organized, and I get it, and we're gonna get there. And so I think it was really interesting to point out that there is no other vendor that has bid on this contract. And that's the case, Chief Roach, throughout the Commonwealth.
Yes, all of my colleagues in other districts have the exact same problem. They have different vendors, but they have no competition competing with those vendors.
Okay. So seeing that that is the case and they've been awarded this contract, it almost feels like we would be derelict in not approving it, because tomorrow our kids would have no way to get to school. And so I get that. And I think perhaps we spend time over the course of the next year, because you're saying if we don't want to renew next year, then that's fine, but we need to have a plan or a strategy over the course of the next year to plan for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's fine. I know that there have been issues with First Student. I have 2 kids who ride the bus. You and I have been in conversation about those things. But so I'm really interested to hear, because I know that in the subcommittee, it sounded like there was an issue around a local vendor, and I know Ms. Naylor voted against it. She wasn't happy, and now I'm hearing what Mr. Valentin is saying. I think it would be good to hear like what's happening, because I feel like those concerns or complaints around First Student have tampered down significantly. And maybe I'm just not getting them, or maybe I'm not facing it myself, because I had faced it, and there was a point in time in which we were getting bombarded with concerns around First Student. And so it had felt like things had gotten better, but maybe they have not. And so I do think it's good to hear the questions that Ms. Valentin is asking. I would love to hear more about Ms. Naylor's concern, because we want to be informed when we make these decisions. We just went in a totally different direction with our food contract, and so this is the time. And so it is helpful to hear those things so that we can be informed in these decisions. And it looks like we have an opportunity, it's just not now.
Mm-hmm. So when we did this last bid, our internal team started, including like City Hall, the law department, everybody, we started meeting in October, I think it was, because that's how long it takes to take everything, put it together, get the data, start the conversations, do some market research, see if we want to change any language. We didn't this past time, but in years past, we've hired consultants to come in and review and give us best practices, things we could do to increase competition. Like at one point, we required them to have a bus yard in Springfield, and we were advised that maybe if we took that language out, and like Five Star and Chicopee could then compete in, and possibly get the business. But nothing's worked. This last contract, the only advice we got after debriefing was maybe if the city had lots, like if we took the current lots by eminent domain, or the city purchased some lots somewhere, and then we let all bidders know that there were bus lots available, that's about the only thing that we haven't tried, because we didn't have that tool in our toolbox, is to, have some bus lots available. So maybe a company coming in doesn't have to figure out how to secure a large piece of land in Springfield where there's not a ton of it.
Just a point of clarification. So that is that the city's able to derive the excise tax.
Yes.
Which goes into our budget, which
Mm-hmm.
helps at the bottom line of the budget. Because again, the city side pays for all the busing on it. But unlike the food contract, which we did have multitudes of bidders on that. As Mr. Roach, CFO Roach indicates, across the Commonwealth, this is fortunately a very common practice that there's usually one bid for those school districts on it. So that's where we stand right now.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh,
Miss Ayana, please.
no,
Right ahead.
Crawford?
I was going to say something.
Okay.
I was going to say, I feel like that put us in a position that we have no choice. And for a contract that big, 30 million contract, I think we as a district and paying entity should have a choice, correct? Of make the right decision for our students and who can give them the best services. Is there any way that that can be addressed or no?
Like I said, we've done everything that we believe we could do over the years to try to change the language in the RFP to increase competition, and we've just never had another vendor bid on the services. So what you're saying about not having choice, there really is no choice when there's one bidder, and that is your low bid. And by law, you have to select the low bid, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it
Like,
because the kids needs transportation to continue to go to school.
Believe you me, Ms. Valentine,
I-
I'd love to see competition because then it knocks down my side of the city budget where I could use it,
Yeah.
other things for city services.
Yeah,
But the point is, as you indicated, we have to make sure that our students, our children are transported back and forth on it. And just what Ms. Hurst had said too, I believe it was after the pandemic had quelled a bit and we went back to school. I remember distinctly because had said to the bus company, with the prior superintendent Warwick, and Pat, you were involved, like, can you accommodate? Do you have enough drivers? Because across the country, the drivers weren't there, the CDLs weren't there, and they said we could. That's when we had a lot of problems, and that's when we kicked in the penalties on it and the fines on that. Since then, they implemented some procedures. I mean, at times, obviously something might arise, but I think it has gotten better from, prior to that, we had pretty good service from that. But during the post-pandemic days, that first year was very, very difficult. And we did face a barrage of complaints on it. And that's when we put the hammer down on penalties. And I love to see competition because, again, it would knock down the city side payment on it. But right now, again, it's not only Springfield, it's across the Commonwealth. Those districts usually just see one bidder.
so is it fair to say that we will start working in that contract for next year early enough that we can come up with some other wording in there that can help us?
if it's the desire of the committee, I'll put it on the next legislative and contracts committee, and we can review the contract together and have a discussion on what everybody wants to do for next steps.
Just a point on the next steps, though, as you indicated, if there's going to be a potential change made, that has to be done way ahead of time, because if any new company does come in, there must be given time on the bus runs, the routes where they're going to be put in continuity. And the investment, any bus companies coming in is putting an investment on it too. That's why they always look for multi-year contracts.
The reason we do a 5-year contract or the 1 year with 4 options to renew is because it's a best practice, because a company coming in has to set up all the logistics, would have to buy, purchase, lease land, hire local staff, set up the whole operation. No one wants to come in and do that for a 3-year contract. So our larger, the contracts where you have to have that whole operation, like food service, needs to be a 5-year contract, because they can amortize those expenses over a 5-year period, and hopefully, they don't usually profit in the first year, and they hope to make it up in future years.
And I don't have any problem as long as it have the option for renewal, like we did with Sodexo and Chatwell came in and so far I hear good things about it, and we needed a change. So as long as that option for renewal is there, and we can probably work in the wording of this contract ahead of time, not when the contract have expired and we have to vote on it,
Yep.
um, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Chair. I want to say I appreciate all the dialogue from my colleagues. As the chair for legislative and contracts, I wonder, and this is just me wondering, if it would be possible to have the bus company come into one of our subcommittee meetings to allow for some healthy dialogue around some of the issues that some of my colleagues are bringing up, to assist you with what you're stating in terms of the mitigations that you would help them sort of filter out. But I think the committee itself would probably like to, in real time, have those healthy conversations to really talk about what we're seeing, what we're hearing from our constituents, and how we can really best support them and help them. But I do understand about the other issues around the contract pieces. But I think right now where we're at, I'd like to see them come into one of our subcommittee meetings. I know we have a legislative contract coming up on September 2nd. That might just be too quick, but thinking about a date that would be available to them to come in, so that we can talk through these challenges, because I don't want it to be an isolated issue where we're just bringing it to the larger. As the mayor always says, the work is done in the subcommittees. So I'm wondering if we could have a presentation and then really thoughtfully thinking through the issues that are being raised in terms of their service. And I know there was something in the news the other day that's really concerning me. I don't have all the details, but nonetheless, so that's something that I'd like to see happen, and hoping that that could happen, and having the transportation service come and speak with the subcommittee so that we can talk about these issues, because they are real issues, and I rather hear from them than kind of go around the mulberry bush, if you will. So thank you.
Ms. Crawford, thank you. That's a good point. You know, bring the individual's response, bring them to subcommittee, ask the questions, and you hear right from the horse's mouth, and they can clarify. And then if they say, geez, we didn't realize, weren't aware of that, we'll try to correct that. So I think that's a good point. If Ms. Crawford's done, I'll go to Mr. Gomez, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I was just, I'm agreeing with Miss Crawford. I kind of, I can see we're in a 26 plus marriage. That's a contract with first student, and I'm surprised that we have this disconnect. And so, I'm not gonna question, like, how much involvement you have with them. I want to thank you for all the work you do for being the middle person for this huge company and all these staff. But I think that what we're saying is that there's a disconnect, and we need to know how first student is going to connect with us. And so, I would say moving forward, is it possible that anything happening with the parents, the students, is first student being invited to these community events? Are they giving opportunities to make these relationships with the people that they're going to serve? And I think that they need to understand that this is a new school committee. We are listening to everyone's voices, and the truth is that it's just not working out right now, and we wish it'd be better, and we need them to do better, and keep doing what they're doing, but also we want a closer relationship with them. And so I'm pretty sure that moving forward, I hope that they hear what we're talking about, and we'll start it there at the subcommittee level. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Yeah, I think it's a good point Ms. Crawford brought up. Bring them in before subcommittee and, have a heart-to-heart, and what needs to be clarified and or what needs to be uplifted a bit. Ms. Gresham.
So we're in the fourth year of their contract?
We are going into the third year. Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion, was that Barbara? Motion made by Ms. Gresham. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford, and thank you for the spirited discussion. That's important. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
I I really can't vote yes in this issue because like I said, I lived every experience with them, and I know there's other voters here, and we have to do something for our kids to have transportation. But unfortunately, when it comes to first students and the services that they give to our kids, I would say no.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
No.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you. We'll now move to item D, and this is a vote to renewal option number 2 to city contract 20250523, agreement for student transportation services on public mass transit and student bus pass system for Springfield Public Schools 2024 through 2027 in the amount of $800,000. CFO Patrick Roach is here. And I also want to, before I turn over to Superintendent Denal, I want to give a shout out to Assistant Superintendent Jose Escarano also too, as we work for identifying passes here when they're on public transportation to weed out any type of situations that might occur and be proactive. So thank you for your efforts. Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Item D refers to the contract that we have with PVTA. PVTA has specific buses that bring our students directly to the high schools in certain hours of the day. And outside of those hours, transportation is free for all Springfield residents. So this reflects the amount that it costs for us to secure buses specifically for our high school students.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is the motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Valentin. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you. E is a vote to approve the city contract 202-70020 agreement for out-of-district tuition for special education students as required by 603 CMR 28.06, subsection 3, and the Special Education Services of Springfield Public Schools for the amount of $4.5 million. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and Dr. Marisa McCarthy is also here. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much. Dr. McCarthy is here to clarify any content-specific questions, but this really pertains to the tuition amount for out-of-district students. As you know, our special education or our exceptional learner needs has increased exponentially over the past few years, and this just reflects the needs of our students, and we are committed to ensuring that they receive high-quality instruction. If we can't provide it in the district, we definitely have to allow them to go out of district.
So moved.
A motion made.
I do have a question for this.
Valentin, go ahead.
I promise it's gonna be
No,
one.
no.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
No, there's no,
Yeah.
there's no problem with that.
For our students of out of district,
Dr.
Dr.
McCarthy,
McCarthy.
Hi, Marissa.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
When you guys negotiate that contract or reach out to these particular entities, will you in the requirements request that all needs were be served, all the students need to be served, including language acquisition? Because I was cited for not providing language services to those kids that were placed in out of district, and there was a correction action plan in there, and I don't know if that's something that and you and I
Yeah.
talked about it when we were working together. And I just want to make sure that we are including those services in there.
Yes, so unfortunately, out-of-district placements do not all have the same language acquisition requirements as our in-district programming. So for every student we send out-of-district, we do have that conversation, and if the school they go to is not able to provide those services, we work as a district to provide those services for them moving forward, is how we're looking to rectify that situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dr. McCarthy. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor? Motion by Ms. Hurst, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gomez. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Roan Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, one is sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you very much. We will now move to F, vote to approve amendment number 1 to city contract number 202300851, agreement for professional development services for Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $1,152,800 $874. Pat Roach is here and Assistant Superintendent Terry Pope. Superintendent Denault, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Although I know we will take each item individually, I am going to ask Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe to join Chief Roach at the podium in case there are any questions pertaining to these two items. Item F refers to the professional development services that we provide throughout the district. We do have professional development days, as you all know, in the calendar. And so we want to make sure that we provide the services and supports and the training for our staff to be able to support students throughout their educational experience in Springfield Public Schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denault. Any questions or comments? Mr. Roach or Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor?
I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. That's all right. I'm sorry, but go ahead, Ms. Cross.
This matter was brought up in the Legislative and Contracts Subcommittee, and since this particular item, I've had lots of teachers stating that just some clarity around how many days they have professional development for. And so a lot of them, and I know we've talked about this in subcommittee, and I wanted to bring this up and be very transparent, is that I'm continuing to get more feedback that yes, the professional development is rigorous, it's thoughtful, it's good, but the amount of professional development that they're getting. So they're asking for less. And I know Superintendent had mentioned that what you've heard is they want more, but I'm still hearing from people. And so I don't want to gloss over this issue because since that meeting, I've heard more comments from teachers stating that, yes, in fact, it's great, but the timing or the quantity or the days of the professional development, they're concerned because they don't have enough time to prepare their classrooms and such. So I just want to be transparent in stating that and just seeking some clarification around that. And so just want to put that out there.
Thank you so much. I will have Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe respond. However, I would like additional clarification on what the true needs are and the number of teachers, right?
Okay.
So we have, I believe, about maybe 2,000 or plus Unit A members, and I don't know if it just pertains to the teachers who are concerned, but there are ample opportunities for them to set up their classrooms on a regular, consistent basis. So if setting up their classrooms is the only concern they have, we can definitely help them find ways and times to do that. I do believe that the need for professional development is evident in our test scores and our student learning outcomes. And so we want to continue to address those gaps. We are having a great number of non-traditional teachers in that they did not take a traditional pathway to the classroom. And so we are providing professional development for them as well. In addition to the fact that in the past, we never had large scale professional development for those who serviced our exceptional learners. So we are now pushing within the days that have already been contracted, utilizing them more strategically. And so the district and the schools switch off on the number of days that they have every other year. And so we definitely, it's the same total number of days, but some are school based and then some are district based, and then vice versa. They switch off, then it's more school based and then fewer district based and things of that nature. But if we would love to hear from those individuals who have specific concerns, I don't know if they voice them to you with enough clarity and detail that I would be able to respond with enough clarity and detail.
Absolutely. And I do appreciate that. And so I will get more clarity of detail so that we can sort of clarify this, because after that meeting, I got subsequently additional teachers. And so I'd like to find out and sort of tease out what you're suggesting to really sort of clarify that, because again, when they approach us, we want to be able to respond intelligently about why something is or why we're doing this. And so I want to be able to respond to that. But when I heard that, it was just a little concerning. And it wasn't just one, it wasn't two, it wasn't three, it was a multitude of teachers. So I'm concerned about this. And so I want to be able to at least address it. And I like how you've sort of clarified that piece where there's different tiers or different levels of the professional development and the rigorous of it. And so I appreciate that. And so I will go back and clarify that with them so that I can get some more data.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Mr. Mayor, may I?
Ms. Hurst, please.
I do think that that was very helpful, Dr. Denal. And what I will say is that the folks that I have heard from, which is why I think what you're asking for, Dr. Denal, is important, is that it was really centered around the calendar. That's how I heard the concern, right? Is that folks really had issue with the calendar that we voted on and felt like returning so early. And so the return is early and they're going right into professional development. And so that is what was leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Like, we don't need all that professional development. Like, why are we returning so early? So that's the concerns that I was hearing. You could have been hearing something completely different. And so what I've said to folks is, I've heard great things about professional development, but I hear you about the calendar. And I think it's a good reminder that we need to make sure that we have a full, thorough discussion about the calendar, because it still is really front and center for some folks. So when I've heard the concern directly related only to the calendar and them feeling like the professional development is tied to them having to return early.
And I just want to make another point of clarity. They are appreciative of the professional development. So I want that to be sort of heard loud and clear. The rigorous of it, the expectations, the everything about the professional development is amazing. And so I want that to be sort of said loud and clear. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crowe. Yeah, we do hear that around the state, that Springfield really tops it out when it comes to professional development and the investment that we make in our teachers and administrators. But I know Superintendent Dr. Denal is going to wants more clarification, so she can follow up on it, or Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe. I don't know if there's any
I'll just say good evening and thank you. And I believe Dr. Denal spoke well about the variation in the professional development between the district-based and the school-based, and it's varied depending upon the need. I did just receive some very great feedback about the professional development that we offer that I'd be happy to share, and we can share our professional development calendar so that you can see the cadence of the meetings. But it does vary from school to school and content to content based on need, because we have a variety of needs throughout the district and we try to meet the needs of all the educators.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor. Motion by Ms. Gresham. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Naylor. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
I will say yes, Terry, because each one of your professional development has been fabulous. I had the opportunity to be part of it, and I learned a lot. It was a shame that I was on my way out.
Miss Crawford,
Yes.
Miss Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Cerno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passed. Thank you. Move down to G, vote to approve amendment number 1, city contract number 20250023, an agreement for the purchase of educational materials and professional development services for the Springfield School Department in the amount of $2 million. And again, CFO Patrick Roach is here and Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Sonia Denal, please.
Thank you so much. I'll ask Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe to rejoin Chief Roach at the podium in case there are any questions. Whenever we have an opportunity to purchase new educational resources or materials, there is an expectation that the company also provides training and professional development to ensure that we are utilizing those resources with fidelity and to ensure that we're utilizing them in a way that will support our students' learning and achievement. Therefore, along with the professional development is also the need of the purchase of, along with the purchase of the resources, you'll also see for this particular contract, the purchase of professional development.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments?
So move.
Thank you, Ms.
Second.
Valentin.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Cerno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passed. H is a vote, and again, to the, maybe the viewing audience that might have just tuned in now, you'll see us vote things through. A lot of the due diligence and hard work is done by the subcommittee members spending hours reviewing these matters. H is a vote to approve the city contract number 20270032, agreement out of district tuition for special education students as required by 603 CMR 2806, Section 3, in the amount of $1.5 million. Again, CFO Patrick Roach is here and Dr. Marisa McCarthy. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Dr. McCarthy will share with you the differences between these contracts. As you can see, there are a few out-of-district tuition contracts on the agenda this evening, and Dr. McCarthy can clarify the differences.
Dr. McCarthy, if there's any questions or comments, maybe you can
Sure.
just do a clarification. I know I think there's 3.
Each contract is for a unique
Unique, yeah.
Yeah, and so we have slightly under 3% of our population that goes out of district for their services, and each school is specific to what the students' needs are. Happy to answer any additional questions.
Thank you, Dr. McCarthy. Any questions or comments of Dr. McCarthy?
So move.
Motion made by Vice Chair Nail. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Cerno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you. I is a vote to approve amendment number 4 on the notice of exercise of renewal option number 4 to the city contract of 20230148, agreement out of district tuition for special services for the school department in the amount of $3 million. Again, CFO Patrick Roach is here, and of course, Dr. Marisa McCarthy. And I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I'll turn it over to Dr. McCarthy.
Again, this is a unique contract for students that have very specific needs that cannot be met within district. I'm happy to answer any questions. We do our due diligence every time we send a student out of district. We have exhausted every single in-district option, and once we do send a student out of district, we always seek circuit breaker reimbursement afterwards.
And I must say, Dr. McCarthy, you and your team do a good job because I get a lot of feedback that Springfield has one of the top special education districts in the state, but at times, even more specialized services are needed for the individual families in need. Any questions or comments of Dr. McCarthy?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, is there a second?
Second.
By Ms. Hurst, roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst, Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. J is a vote to approve city contract number 2027-0042 agreement for the Rising First Grader Daily Reading Program for the Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $2,232,500. CFO Patrick Roach is here and Assistant Superintendent Terry Paul. I will turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. We're very excited about this contract. You'll hear a little later during the early literacy presentation that we have some pretty impressive data related to the services that we receive under this contract. This is our high dosage tutoring model that the State Department funded, but then we also had to show some in-kind funding as well to continue it for our students. So we are looking forward to continuing these services so that our students can be ready to be literate reading on grade level by the end of second grade.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments of Superintendent or Assistant Superintendent Terry Poe or Pat Roach? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Gresham, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you. K is a vote to approve the notice of exercise of renewal for option one, the city contract number 20260497. Memorandum of Understanding Gateway to College Program at Holyoke Community College for the amount of $272,000. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and I don't know if Rhonda Jacobs is here or on. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Several years ago, as I was covering the maternity leave of Dr. Yolanda Johnson, I was fortunate to be the individual to support the beginning of the HCC program, Gateway to College, and it is so wonderful to see that it is still up and running. We're so grateful for their partnership. The new president, President Timmons, has committed to continue to support our vision around Holyoke Community College Gateway program, and we are happy to see that they did have a significant increase in their graduation rate this past school year. So we are looking forward to the partnership, looking forward to continue to support our scholars who attend that program. And we would love for any and all of our school committee members to visit those programs in the near future.
Thank you, Superintendent. Dr. Denal, any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the
So move.
They got a trifecta down there with three.
Yeah, singing.
Okay, Manny second, yeah, Mr. Gomez. I'll go with Valentin with the motion and Mr. Gomez with the second. Mr. Clerk, please call a roll.
Ms. Valentin,
The Gateway program in HCC is fabulous, Dr. Dinal. I worked with it over the years, and it is one of our, biggest acquisition. And I'm very happy to say yes, because that is a great program.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Ms. Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passed. Thank you. L is a vote to approve city contract number 20270015, agreement for sole source science curriculum. This is right up Superintendent Dr. Denal's alley. Materials, digital licenses, professional development for Springfield Public Schools Department in the amount of $2,608,000, $715.60. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and Assistant Superintendent Terry Paul. Turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. Over the past few years, we have the next generation science standards, so it did require that the nation did shift and develop new curriculum, and we are committed to ensuring that all of our students are able to access a curriculum that aligns with the next generation science standards, as well as prepares them for the MCAS science assessment here in the state. This curriculum aligns perfectly with that, and as with any new material, we also have purchased professional development for our staff.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denault. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is a
So moved.
Barry? Okay.
I would say is we got to see this in action during our August professional development for teachers. Teachers were excited, and it was very awesome to see them in motion, having fun as adult learners, so we know our students are going to have fun on the ground.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Poe. The motion again?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Crawford, is second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Valentin. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Thank you. M, vote to approve amendment number 3 and the renewal of number 2 to the city contract numbered 202409223A, agreement for educational material professional development services for Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $300,000. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and Assistant Superintendent Terry Paul. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denault, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. This particular contract will support what we do with numeracy and with math throughout the district.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Nail.
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes. More than sufficient vote, matter passes. Thank you. We're almost around the quarter. Third base. And vote to approve the renewal option 2 to city contract number 202500021, agreement for nursing services for Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $300,000. Once again, CFO Patrick Roach is here, and Dr. Marisa McCarthy. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denault, please.
So thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. As you know, there is a national nursing shortage. So in order for us to ensure that we have nurses in our buildings to support the health and well-being of our students, we sometimes have to have them come from a service. So this contract supports that work, ensuring that we can have nurses in the event that we don't have sufficient nurses to cover all of our buildings.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denault. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, there's a motion on the floor. Motion by Ms. Gresham is second. Second by Vice Chair Naylor. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Mr. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes. This matter passes. O, a vote to approve the renewal option number 2 on the city contract number 202500095. This is an agreement for school bus transportation services for McKinney-Vento students. These are homeless students that we take care of for the Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $3 million. CFO Patrick Roach here, and I will turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denault, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. As you know, homelessness is a serious issue. It does disrupt the lives of students and families. However, we don't want it to disrupt their education. So regardless of where they're placed in a shelter, we will go get them, bring them to school, and make sure that they receive their education. These funds will allow us to do so.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denault. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor?
Yeah, no, I just want Pat to clarify that these are van pool services, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
There's different to the regular transportation that we take.
Correct. This is in school services for homeless students.
And they've been doing that, Patrick, for a number of years.
Yeah.
Van Pool has.
And they're pretty good about it.
Yeah, no,
Pretty good about it.
they've been doing it for a number of years. They were very good during the tornado days, too. Motion made by Ms. Naylor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Mr. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you. P is a vote to approve renewal option number 2 to city contract number 202500088, agreement for school bus transportation services for special education in OOD for the Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $10.5 million. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and I will turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. These are specialized vans and specialized minibuses because some of our scholars who need this transportation also need some medical equipment to go with them on their ride to and from school. So the amount reflects the need for specialized services as we're transporting our students.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So move.
Motion by Ms. Valentin, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Cerno.
Yes, ordinance 50 votes, matter passes. Q, a vote to approve the city contract number 20270089, agreement for lease of copiers and printers for the Springfield Public Schools in the amount of $2,155,006.08. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and I'll turn over to Superintendent Dr. Denal. And don't forget that 8 cents too, Pat, okay?
Never do.
I know you don't.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. This contract is to ensure that we have copiers and printers.
So
Right to the point.
May I
Well-
ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I left the subcommittee meeting thinking about this, and I don't know that we do, but do we have like I don't know if it's a green committee or what are we doing to reduce potentially the use of paper? Like I'm looking at this contract and I know it's for the whole district, right? So this number probably feels really right size. But I am thinking about like what are our efforts around being more green and an effort to do that may reduce some of these costs.
We don't have a green committee that I'm aware of, so that's a great idea.
There's a chair right here.
No, I follow the rules.
Volunteer.
Trash bin, and that is a blue recycle bin, and that is to the extent in which I'm trying to save our world. But I do know that is really important, and I think about like Renaissance and how they came before us, and they're doing lots of composting, and so I'm just thinking. I mean, we're looking at all this paper, and I'm just, it's a real thing.
It's a great idea, and I think we can take it back and discuss it.
We have come a long way though in our recycling school department and in City Hall here, tremendously. If we can, I mean, Brittany, again with the package you sent us, could have worked out with this.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot of paper.
Mr. Mayor, if I may have
I like the
if I have a point of
point of
information.
information.
We do have a pending technology subcommittee to discuss some of the ways that we can improve on the paper, because it was a conversation that happened in the last meeting when we looked at all this paper, and now we're having to look at it again times 4 or 5. So Mr. Roach as well as Mr. St. Lawrence are working together with our clerk to come up with some options for us that we will discuss in the technology subcommittee, specifically for us, but it also helps for them to think about what that can look like as we look at how is that affecting the rest of the district.
Yeah,
So, I did want to at least let you know, we brought it up in subcommittee, and I don't know if you were.
I did. I saw it. Thank you.
But I wanted for the public to know that we are having the conversation around how to do that, because we don't like killing trees
Right.
unnecessarily.
And I think a green committee is a real, like, there could be real value in that. I mean, I was just telling Ayana, like, I'm looking at these water bottles, and I know I'm probably one of the people that asked for it. But at my office, where I work professionally during the day, like, we've even moved to, like, we have paper carton water containers. Like, I think we need to figure out how to go along. Like, we were all so happy about the electronic buses or the electric buses.
Yep.
Like, I just think we need to be thinking about our climate.
Okay.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Guess what, Bob? You're drafted. Okay.
Or it could be one of our students' civic projects.
Yes.
Any other? Go ahead, Dr. No.
We've been partnering with the Renaissance students to assist them every year in doing their green projects.
I will say that our buildings have become more efficient. I know that as we continue with our capital campaigns, and Chief Roach can elaborate more than I can around this, but I do know some of our buildings are becoming more and more efficient
Yeah.
and more, I would say, earth-friendly. Yeah.
That's coming from a science teacher, by the way.
Hey, that's right.
I think Ms. Vice Chair Naylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Was it you, Denise? Or
No,
Mi-
it's a Denise.
sounds just both alike. Ms. Hurst, roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Right, I know.
Jerome Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, one is official vote, the matter passes. R is a vote to approve assignment of and First Amendment to City Contract 20240600 agreement between American International College, AIC, Springfield Public Schools, CFO Patrick Roach is here. I don't know if Innovation Zone Director Mike Calvanese is here on the line, but I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much. The absence of a dollar amount indicates this is simply a shift from the Springfield Empowerment Zone Partnership to Springfield Public Schools. This will be providing early college experiences and College Now programming for students who are part of the Innovation Schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Chair Naylor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Crawford. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Jerome Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, one is official. Matter passes. Jeanette, this is pretty thrilling for you, huh? Just
Make sure you.
ace reporter from the Republican. We want to keep you enthused here. S.
Right there.
S is a vote to approve the city contract number 20270012, agreement for Springfield Public Schools copy center operations / sales service mail courier with Xerox Business Solutions LLC in the amount of $3,337,000 and $221.60. CFO Patrick Roach is here, and I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. This contract is to ensure that we have courier services between all of our facilities and buildings, as well as our copy center that we currently use for diplomas as well as other needs in the district.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Motion by Vice Chair Naylor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gresham. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham,
Yes.
Jerome Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, one is official vote, the matter passes. And last but not least, P is a vote to approve the notice of renewal option number 4 for city contract 20230453 agreement for alternative school transportation for special needs students as needed basis in the amount of $600,000. CFO Patrick Roach is once again here. I'll turn over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. In the event that our large bus contractors can't fulfill their obligation for these needs, we have an alternative school transportation plan for special needs students on an as-needed basis.
Thank you, Superintendent Dr. Denal. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I do have a quick.
I'm sorry,
Who-
Mr. Gomez, please.
I'm so sorry, Chair.
No, you're not. Let me
Who
sorry.
are the smaller companies that we are partnering with that will be able to help with these services?
The specific contract in front of you right now is for Transportation Options, which actually is a small Springfield company.
Okay, so they are the company.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Thanks for that clarification. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, is a motion on the floor. Motion by Ms. Gresham, is second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Hurst. Roll call vote is required. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin,
Yes.
Ms. Crawford,
Yes.
Ms. Hurst,
Yes.
Mr. Gomez,
Yes.
Ms. Gresham, Jerome Naylor,
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, the matter passes. Thank you very much. We'll now move to Section 4 presentation. This is second grade literacy. Laura Mendez is here, who taught my daughters at Frederick Harris, and Kate Asher is also here. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Denal, please.
Thank you so much. I'm so pleased that we have two of our team members who will help us understand the data and the relevance and what we've been doing in the district to ensure that our students are reading on grade level by the end of the second grade. Nationally, the norm was to read on grade level by the end of third grade. However, with universal pre-K and the large investment we have made in our pre-K educational system in the city, we wanted to ensure that we utilize that to its fullest, ensure that we use it as a lever, and make sure that our students are reading by the end of second grade. And we know that is our first district priority. And I'm so pleased that we have some good news for you.
Thank you.
We do have good news tonight. Urgent still, but good. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Menz. I'm the Director of Literacy.
Good evening. My name is Kate Asher. I am the Supervisor of Literacy.
And we have a missing member of our team, Laura Lee Cabrera, our district ILS, who is driving her daughter back to college this evening down in D.C.
It's a good thing to do.
That's right.
So greetings, Mayor Sarno, Superintendent Denal, and esteemed school committee members. Thank you for having us tonight. Next slide, please.
Great. As you know, our early literacy priority calls for students to be proficient readers by the end of second grade. This district priority embodies the standard that early reading proficiency is the cornerstone of all future academic achievement. We know it's essential to build a strong language and literacy foundation in our primary grades because strong literacy skills will impact our students' success not only across all content areas in elementary school, but also as they transition to middle school, high school, college, careers, and post-secondary success. Literacy impacts everything we do in life. It is the gateway to success, as we all know. So now let's talk a little bit about the science of reading with Laura.
Thanks. Next slide, please. So as we talk about early literacy, we want to think about what the science of reading is. So you'll see a chart there that really talks about this body of research that's not new. It's something that's been going on for several decades, and it's been research that's been conducted across the world, not just in the United States, across multiple languages. When we look at the chart that says what it is not, I want to draw your attention to the last item. A lot of folks think it's phonics. It's not just phonics. Phonics is a critical, important component of literacy instruction, but it's not the end-all, be-all. We need to be teaching phonics along with other components of literacy instruction. You hear a lot about phonics because a lot of districts across the nation, we struggled with implementing phonics instruction for almost 2 decades. Now we have a firm grasp on it, so that's a piece of our good news. Also want to say, as we're talking about this tonight, we often hear people say, oh, they're learning to read in the early grades and reading to learn in the upper grades. That's not necessarily 100% accurate. We're always learning to read across all of the grades, and we're always reading to learn. It's just that shift, that balance is heavier on learning to read in the early grades. Next slide, please. This slide just gives us a little bit of a glimpse of what exactly happens in the what. So you'll see in that first infographic, we have a lot of information around what we might call word recognition, handwriting and spelling, and all those subcomponents that make that up. But then we also have comprehension and composition happening, and that's what we're talking about when we're saying we're always learning to read. And then on the how side, you'll see that's what people might call structured literacy. You might have heard that term when people are talking about the science of reading. And structured literacy is, I'll say briefly, it's explicit, it's systematic, it's data-driven, and it's planned. Some folks call it direct instruction. Next slide, please. Okay, and now I need my notes, because I have lots of what we think is good news, showing that we're on the right path. This chart, this slide, shows us our data from our M-Class, and our M-Class is our early literacy screener data. We're entering year 4 of implementing
the early literacy screener as regulated by Massachusetts general law. The chart on the left highlights our grade level improvements from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, last school year. So we're looking at the same students in a grade level across a year. So when we look at kindergarten, we see that 30% of our students started the school year above the benchmark or at the benchmark, those green and blue bars. But 70% started well below or below, those red and yellow bars. By the end of the year, however, this shifted to 60% at or above benchmark and 40% well below, so on the right track. In first grade, we had 40% who started at or above, and 60 were well below. But by the end of the year, we had flipped that to 60 above and 40 below based on this data. And then finally, in second grade, we started with 44% at or above and 56% well below or below. And that improved by the end of the year with 54% at or above and 46 well below or below. So some good news there for those students in that cohort. I think so too. Then when we shift to the chart on the right, we're actually looking at grade level improvements across 2 school years. So we're looking at kindergarten the year before last and kindergarten last year, but different kids in kindergarten. So in that kindergarten data, the percentage at or above increased from the school year 24-25 from 53% to 60%, and the percentage of well below or below decreased, what we wanted to do, from 47 to 40%. So that cohort, that grade level is improving as well. And then in first grade, that percentage of at or above increased from 51 to 61%, and the percentage well below decreased from 49 to 39. And then in second grade, our percentage at or above increased from 46 to 54, and the percentage well below decreased from 54 to 46. It gets harder and harder to close those gaps as the students get older. There's also some data that's not on this slide that I think you'll be interested in. We talk about it in the band of K to 2, though, so we're not going to talk about it individual grades. But I want to talk about some of our exceptional learners, because I think this is really important to hear. When we think about the data on the left, the percent of K to 2 students who are exceptional learners increased from 24% at the beginning of the school year to 37% at the end of the school year. And then when we look at the data chart on the right, the percent of K to 2 students at or above increased from 25% in school year ending 2025 to 37% in school year ending 2026. So really good news, we're on the right track with our exceptional learners. And then we don't want to leave our ML learners out, so we'll look at that same K to 2 band. Looking at the chart on the left, the percent of ML students at or above benchmark increased from 20% at the beginning of the year to 45% at the end of the year. And then that chart on the right, looking at 1 year over the next, we went from K to 2 students 31% at the end of the year to 45% at the end of the next year. Pretty impressive gains. They're nice gains. We're happy. It's good news. We're celebrating, but the data's still urgent, and we have lots of work to do. So Kate's going to talk a little bit about how that strategy starts in pre-K, and then I'll shift to the elementary grades.
Okay, next slide, please. Great, thank you. So we use a comprehensive system of targeted assessment tools to guide instructional pacing and responsive Tier 1 support. So these 4 pre-K assessments help us do just that you see up here. We have the Early Screening Inventory, or the ESI, which screens incoming students across visual motor, gross motor, and language domains. Second, we have the PKLA, or the Pre-K Literacy Assessment, which is administered 3 times a year, annually, to measure foundational early literacy domains that are aligned to the science of reading. And then the last 2, we have a writing portfolio that we use those student writing portfolios to evaluate developmental writing progressions across multiple classroom routines. And lastly, we're using a standards-based benchmarking tool, which is aligned directly with the Massachusetts DESE Early Learning Standards to monitor kindergarten readiness. All of this data will create a student literacy profile prior to even entering kindergarten that allows us, it rolls up to the district level in our data hub and allows us the opportunity to engage in those high-level conversations around literacy trends. So we're using this data too to inform our professional learning strategy in preschool, which we can take a look at on the next slide. So we invest deeply in our educator capacity. Dr. Denal is always talking about the importance of the instructor in the classroom. And so we have 2 professional learning opportunities that we're offering our pre-K educators this year. The first one, as you can see up here, is the Seeds of Learning Professional Learning Framework, which is a professional learning opportunity that we're offering up to 46 of our educators. It's supporting educators in the teaching of evidence-based literacy instruction based on that science of reading. And it works to empower educators with the knowledge to develop oral language, emergent literacy, social skills, and self-regulation skills in all our 3 to 5-year-olds, setting them up for success in kindergarten and beyond. The framework is easily replicated and supports our early childhood program overall and is integral in the success of our educators. And then the second professional learning experience, I'm smiling too because I've actually spent this week with our educators engaging in this PD for all our teachers and instructional paraprofessionals in collaboration with our Exceptional Learners Department around full-day PD designed to equip educators with practical, high-impact strategies that foster an inclusive, engaging, and supportive learning environment for all students based on the collection of ongoing data. So this is just the tip of the iceberg for us, and we have plans to support this professional learning over the course of the next year. And I think I'm passing it back over to Laura to hear more about the professional learning we have in the elementary grades.
Thanks, Kate. That pre-K experience we know is so important, and this district has invested lots of money and lots of time in it. But I would offer to you, probably for another conversation at another time, that the work actually begins before preschool. There is a lot of research out there that says it starts in utero. So lots that we could talk about with our community and thinking about screen time and how families and community organizations can support language and literacy development. That was my little soapbox moment. All right, let's think about professional learning in the elementary grades after pre-K. So in addition to pre-K, we offer lots of opportunities to help our educators to support our students. In fact, this past summer, we hosted a session here in Springfield that was moderated by the Reading League, a national nonprofit organization, and we convened 20, in the summertime, on a day-long, hot day at the PD Center, 26 SPS principals and literacy leaders, and 7 of our empowerment zone leaders, including Miss Imani, and 35 literacy leaders or administrators from partner districts in Western Mass. So it was an exciting day where we got to talk about how leadership explores building systems and structures that ensure literacy instruction is based on that research and evidence we talked about on an earlier slide. So as you look over this slide, you'll see we have 2 sets of PD that we have ongoing, and the first one supports our early literacy screener, the M class, helping our educators to actually screen students and then use that data to inform their instruction, to make grouping decisions, to identify students who are at risk for reading difficulties, and to also help our administrators with that data as well. And then that second set of PD that we focus on during the course of the school year is PD that supports our intervention called SIPs. So when we have students we know are at risk, we want to be able to give them a Tier 2 or a Tier 3 intervention, and SIPs does that. That big paragraph in the middle there, third paragraph there, we're really excited about this one. We are the recipient of a very generous grant from the Davis Foundation, great partners in the work across the community, great partners to us here in Springfield Public Schools. They are funding an opportunity for myself and Laura Lee, who's not here with us tonight, to lead a series called, we call it OLA, Online Language and Literacy Academy. And it's a program that's been developed from Core Learning out in California. Laura Lee and I have taken the course twice. Terry Poe's taken the course once. Kate Asher's taken the course. Several of our literacy leaders have, and a couple other principals. But this time, Laura Lee and I are going to train kindergarten and first grade teachers. We know that sometimes coming out of higher ed, they're not getting necessarily what we would like to see for them hitting the ground running using our curriculums. So we'll be doing that over the course of this year. We're really excited. And then I think just to note, our team also, in addition to partnering with the Exceptional Learners Department, we do some work with the Multilingual Language Department. And I don't know if that's me or if it's the microphone. We're doing some work this year around co-teaching with ESL teachers and classroom teachers, and around using our materials from the ML department and the ELA department in a collaborative way that supports students learning how to read. So we're very excited about that. All right, next slide, please. This is, this one I've been asked to give you some clarification. This is the item you just voted on a little earlier. This is a great opportunity for us. You may have read in the press release last week that the Department of Education purchased another year of high-dosage literacy tutoring. And we were the recipients again this year. Last year, we also participated. And you just voted on offering some more seats. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about those seats, and then we're going to wrap up. So this is our second year. And we're very grateful and thankful for what you just voted for, because what you just voted for was 893 high-dosage literacy tutoring seats for 893 students, 15 minutes a day with a live tutor in front of them. And these tutors are highly trained. They go through 100 hours of training before they get in front of our students. Our data, I'm going to show you on the next slide, was pretty impressive for last year. So DESE is actually paying for the first grade seats, which is, we didn't know this when we created these slides, 750 seats. So we now have 1,643 first grade and second grade students getting this tutoring starting at the end of September, going through June. Very impressed. We're excited. We know it's a winning formula, partnered with high-quality instruction by our educators. Next slide, please. So this is the last bit of data I'm going to share with you. This one's a little bit more interesting to look at. This is how Ignite gives us some of our data. So when you look at the left-hand side of that chart, when we began the program last year, 90% of the first graders, there were 849 who started with us, they were already a year behind at the start of first grade. That's the left-hand side. As we closed out the school year, looking at the right-hand side, you can see that that high bar there, 72% ended the year in the middle or the end of first grade, making over a year's worth of improvements. And then there was another 8% who were in the early second grade skills, and 9% who graduated altogether from the program, meaning they mastered those second grade standards. We still had a small number, 10%, working in that kindergarten band. So again, another important reason for us to get them back up and running this year with the tutoring and making sure our instruction is top-notch. We know this approach paired with the high-quality instruction is a winning formula, so we're excited about that. We hope you are, and we'll entertain any questions you might have for us.
First of all, great presentation. Hearing the numbers speak for themselves on huge increases and going in the right direction.
That's right.
Davis Foundation, that's the more you pump in on the front end, the better outcomes you're going to get. So I'll turn it over to school committee members and/or Superintendent Dr. Donnell for any questions or comments.
I have a question.
Vice Chair Naylor and I'll go Ms. Hurst.
So I'm gonna ask the question I always ask, and that is about our students that have dyslexia.
Yeah.
And I know that is something that you all were looking at the last time we talked about the reading situation. Definitely appreciate the fact that we are seeing great improvement on our students being prepared. But that continues to be a question that parents ask me about. How are we working towards ensuring that students are being identified as quickly as possible that may have dyslexia or other learning differences that may affect their ability to catch on as quickly?
Okay. I know we did talk about this in the past too. So this screener does not diagnose dyslexia. What it does is identify potential risk of reading difficulties, which could be reading disabilities such as dyslexia. We know that with the instruction coming from structured literacy, it's good instruction for all students, including dyslexics. And yes, dyslexics are on a continuum or a range. Some are less severe than others. But I currently do not have a tool that diagnoses dyslexia. I know our Exceptional Learners Department is very aware of this and very cautious and make sure that we're not confusing instruction with the needs of the students. So there's some conversation there. Certainly, Dr. McCarthy, you could correct me if I'm... You did duck out, okay.
She did.
But it is definitely a concern. I know for families whose children are dyslexic, we want to make sure that they have the right interventions. So when we look at Tier 2 and Tier 3 especially, it's a conversation we want to have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Naylor.
I answered your question.
Ms. Hurst?
Thank you. So I wanted to call our attention to the slide on the DESE early literacy high dosage. Those 1,600 students that you referred to, they're across the district, or are we centered in certain schools?
They are across the district. And one thing with the DESE seats, I cannot offer those first grade seats to any other grade level until we have offered them to every student in first grade who presents as well below or below in the data. So we need parent permission to participate, and we hope that parents will give it. But yeah, that's 1,643 kids across the district, all our elementary schools.
And so there's 893 seats for first grade, or is that the 700?
The 893 are actually what you voted for tonight is for second grade. DESE took care of our first grade, so we want to focus on both grades, right? Because we want to get those second graders to grade level before the end of second grade as well.
Do you know offhand how many second graders we have across the district?
I think I can give you, if I look at that data chart real quickly, I might be able to.
I guess I'm just wondering, like, how many students versus how many seats?
So, yeah, we can give you those numbers. I will tell you this. We're putting, we have seats for a little over 1,400 students. Our end of the year data has about 1,900 students needing this intervention. So we are falling short with that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Ms. Crawford?
I just had a follow-up to which your question was, which was great. I think about our transient students that come in the middle of the year or what have you. How are they able to access this high doses tutoring? And then sort of another part of that question is what happens to those students that leave our district? with that high dosage and they're in that number.
Yeah.
Do you replace them? What happens? I'm just curious.
So with these seats, they are pretty fluid. So like as you saw, students can actually graduate from the program. So what we're thinking, some of these second graders that we're funding, probably halfway through the school year, they're going to graduate out of this program and we'll have seats to open up for other students, maybe kindergartners at the second half of the year. But to your point about the transient students, we have transient students that go across school to school. So what we've done this year is we're ensuring that a student who has this intervention at school A, if they move to school B, we're making every attempt to the seat follows them. If for some reason it doesn't follow them, perhaps the time isn't correct for them, we can't get a tutor at that school online, whatever the case may be, then the host school, the original school, can fill that seat with another student. We can always fill those seats. The good news about the seats that you all just purchased tonight, we have more flexibility with those seats. Desi says to us, the seats we're giving you must be first graders who are well below or below. With our seats, we can fund multiple grade levels. We can actually look at kids who are in that green composite. Sometimes we call kids in that green composite having fragile green scores, meaning once we open up that band and we look at all the sub-measures, they actually have some sub-measures that show they need help. So then we can actually give them this intervention. We have the luxury of having some decision-making with at least the seats that you've all purchased for us.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you both, Lori and Kate, for your due diligence, your excellent work. I know you both as great educators, so thank you.
The Mayor, with the early screening, pre-K, is there a time frame that they have to be completed?
So the early literacy screening is K to 3, the M class. We have some of our own assessments that Kate was talking to you about in pre-K.
So is there a time frame when they have to be completed? Like
The
within,
early screening inventory, I think you're referring to, the early literacy screening, or it's not called the early screening inventory, or the ESI, is the time frame's 45 days. So we have 45 days from when a student enrolls until for us to administer that screening.
right, it's the same as Head Start.
Yeah,
They have to
good.
do it with-
They use the same thing. Yes, they do.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes, Ms. Gresham. Mr. Gomez, please.
Hi, yes. The ones that are actually giving the students the training or the extra, are they teachers or are they hired?
Ignite Reading, it's
Yeah.
it's a fabulous organization themselves, and I can get you all information about how they started up. But their training is rather rigorous, and so the tutors come from all over the country.
Okay.
They're vetted, they're quarried, and they're provided that training by expert literacy people that are employed by Ignite Reading.
Okay. And do you know if, say, the tutor is going to tutor someone that speaks Russian, do they try to
This question.
get a tutor that speaks Russian too, right? Or Spanish or whatever it may be to make a good fit? And does this tutoring happen at school? Does it happen at home? Is it after school?
Excellent questions, thank you. Our tutoring model with Ignite Reading is during the school day. So it's built into usually the rotation of when students are doing some independent work and teachers are working with small groups of students. That's the usual model. There's a couple other models where it might be whole group and everyone's doing it at the same time. But this language conversation, and I have to really thank Bob St. Lawrence and his team, we have a data share with Ignite Reading where we give them information about our students, specifically if they're second language learners, and then we can put in what their home language is. And many of these tutors share many of the same home languages. So our students are being tutored in English to learn to read in English, but let's say the student happens to have a home language of Russian, and then we have a tutor that speaks Russian, they're able to converse and have some familiarity. And I know this is probably a longer presentation than we needed tonight.
No.
But one of the best pieces of data that came out. You can't make this stuff up. Kids at the end of the year were writing letters in their classroom at the end of first grade. What's the best part of first grade? And students were writing, my Ignite reading tutor. I mean, the relationships, when you think about this, this is a tier 3 intervention, 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, the whole school year. They're checking in with the same person every single day. They're developing a relationship with these folks. So they're not only learning how to read, but their social emotional well-being, they're getting confident, just wonderful byproducts that I never anticipated out of this program.
Now, is this tutoring have to happen in school hours, or could it happen after school hours?
No, it has, this particular model is an in-school model. The department has other tutoring programs that are before and after. And from what I'm hearing from my colleagues, most of those before and after school online tutoring programs are not as successful as when we're overseeing it during the school day.
Do you know how they also like involve the parents? And like maybe somehow I see sometimes now the children are teaching the parents.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
A new language. Or vice versa, they're learning together. I'm just wondering if there's, is that part of their model? Is that part of their mission that not only they're empowering the child, right, but they know that they might be empowering a whole household. How do we get them educated too? How do we get them to a source, right?
There are lots of home school connection type documents and resources that are available through Ignite Reading, also through our screening company as well. So this year, that is one of the goals, for them to amp up what it is we do with families. They've wanted to support schools in hosting family nights. Imagine bringing the kids and their families that are receiving the tutoring and having an informational session with a little bit of some educative features in it. I love your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none is a motion. We don't need a motion. Just kidding. Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Kate. Oh, yeah. Laura and Kate, I don't know if you heard that. Ms. Gresham said you could just see the passion in both of you for this cause.
We have a little office and we call it the literacy lair.
Aw.
He's our lane.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're now going to move informational discussion items. This is to discuss a current date of the first town hall meeting on Thursday, October 22nd. Vice Chair Latonia Naylor has been very instrumental pushing for this, and now it's going to start to come to fruition. So let me turn it over first to Superintendent Dr. Denal, then I'll turn it over to Vice Chair Naylor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I will turn it over to Vice Chair Naylor.
Thank you so much, Superintendent. So I have been working diligently with our clerk as well as Focus Springfield and Mr. St. Lawrence to really identify the schools that we will be using for these town halls. One is scheduled for the fall for Thursday, October 22nd, and then the other one is going to be in the spring. And I don't know, I think we have a tentative date, but we haven't finalized that date. The first one is going to be at Central. The second one is going to be at Van Sickle / Renaissance, so that we could really think about how we're including both sides of the city. With that being the case, though, we scheduled October 22nd, and I had some questions for Attorney Keefe as far as the formatting of the town hall to make sure that we are very clear on what it is that we can and we can't do. As well, one of the questions is that I may not be able to be there physically because I actually have to work, and I did not realize that when we confirmed the date. So part of the conversation tonight is whether or not we're going to keep the date of the 22nd, or if it is the will of the body, I would prefer that we keep the date and then I tune in virtually if I'm not able to get back into Springfield in time. But I wanted to at least not make that decision on my own and make that be a thing that we all were able to discuss and not violate open meeting law. So that's why we're here tonight. So the first question is the 22nd, us being able to have that. But the question I have for Attorney Keefe before we jump into that is, for the structure of the town halls, we've traditionally done them online. So we did them virtually. We started in the pandemic. We had a phenomenal series of virtual town halls to make sure parents were aware of what we were doing and when we were coming back to school, all the things. It was great. Multiple languages and all the things. And then we've had times where we've had discussions, like when we were talking about the cameras in the schools, or even when we were thinking about the food service or whatever. So the reason why we decided to do the town hall was to allow for folks to ask questions of us in advance that they would like for us to address. But we know that there's not just one topic. So in the past, it's only been the cameras, or it's only been the pandemic, or it's only been this time. It's not going to only be one thing. So we want to be careful about how we're going to allow people to ask questions, and we want to be clear about how we're responding to questions so we don't violate open meeting law. And then we also want to be clear on whether or not being able to attend the meeting virtually or even a quorum in person or whatever, those kind of requirements that we have for public meetings. So that's for you.
If there's a quorum of the body and it's going to be a full committee meeting, we
Mhm.
definitely have to abide by the open meeting law. We'd probably have to abide by, or we would have to abide by our policy regarding remote participation. So if it's a full meeting, our policy would be, we have to have a physical quorum. I envision it, and we can discuss this further, but I envision it similar to our public comment or our public speak out, where people would sign up early, we could pose the questions. I know the difference would be, obviously, there would be a response to the questions. But other than that, as long as we're conforming to open meeting law and we're conforming to our policies with a full committee, we can kind of structure it how we'd like.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Does anybody else have questions for Attorney Keefe?
Keefe?
I just, Vice Chair,
Yeah.
I just had one thought. When you mentioned about sort of the allowing the constituent to have a conversation or that back and forth piece, what would, I'm kind of wondering what would that look like? Because how are we responding? I mean, is it just what type of dialogue are we can't rule over anything. We can't say this is what we're going to do, but we can take into consideration whatever they're sharing with us. And we say, okay, well, maybe that can go to a subcommittee.
Mhm.
Could we kind of say that? I'm just trying to understand, because now, other than a public speak out, we haven't been able to talk to the public. And so I just want to kind of understand, what does that look like now as a new person on the committee? I mean,
I would defer, I guess, to how we've done it in the past, but my suggestion would be if whoever is signing up for the town hall meeting, they would put their questions ahead of time. And if there's a question, obviously, that can't be answered or we need more follow-up, we can provide some follow-up afterwards or at a subsequent meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate the response, and I know Ms. Hurst has a question or a comment. The reason why I wanted it done that way, so I'm glad you said that that's the way that we would probably do it, is because if there's questions that people pose, let's say they pose questions about the food service, it would be nice that we might have somebody who's representing the food service or somebody who would have information to provide to us in advance. So we already have FAQs. For example, when we had the camera meeting, Dr. Denal, we had the Superintendent Akers was there from the police department, and we had a couple of other folks that when they asked questions, I didn't have the answer. The mayor might not have had the answer, but we had certain people in place that did, and they were able to respond because we already knew what the subject was going to be.
okay, so that clarifies it.
yeah.
So what we're saying is that we're going to have, so they're going to be able to send us questions in advance of this particular town hall. So it's not just them arbitrarily just talking without having a real clear question to ask. Okay. So that,
You'd have,
okay.
and if some,
Okay.
well, geez, why can't we say
Right.
so? Because we want the question so we can hopefully address it.
Right. Okay.
Address what your
Okay.
needs are or clarify what your
Perfect. Excellent. Okay.
and we could have a time frame depending on how many are there, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Set forth, like similar to a public comment or
Okay.
speak out. That's how I envision it.
But I think with Vice Chair Taylor and School Committee Woman Crawford on, we want to be able to address your concerns. So if you know your concerns ahead of time. Superintendent Dr. No, school committee member, or something. This is not a specific meeting. It's a wide open meeting. You mentioned food service. Maybe there's another category. We could have somebody there. say, we have an individual, he or she, that can address your question or clarify your question directly. I mean, that's why we're doing it.
Right. Chair, I just had another quick thought. In your vision of thinking about this, Vice Chair, was it that each of these town halls would have a specific topic, or you wanted it to be open and any questions can come before this particular town hall? We answer them somewhat in advance, if you will, although they will be presenting them, correct?
Almost.
Okay.
So we did not want to dictate what the agenda was going to be. We wanted to give space for people to address concerns that we may not know about. Right. So we know that the superintendent has like super Sundays and super Saturdays. And there's a lot of times when families will come and they will address things to the superintendent concerning matters that happen on a day-to-day within the school. But we have not had traditionally an opportunity for people to address policy issues or concerns that directly affect us. So for example, somebody has a concern about the uniform policy, which we heard about on the first and second day of school, right? That's something that concerns us. That's something that somebody can come to us about and say, I have a concern about this. But they will let us know in advance so that if there's an issue that we may not know the answer to, rather than having a bunch of people come and say all these things, and we're like, well, we'll get back to you. We want to have answers for them at the actual meeting. So that's where the questions being submitted in advance are beneficial to us being able to provide them with real context and data if that's what they want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a couple. So are we saying that if folks don't submit their questions ahead of time and they get to Central, that they then won't be able to ask any questions? Like, we're going to be really clear that the only questions that are going to be asked are going to be those that were submitted in advance?
That could be something. I mean, I would suggest that's probably the.
I just think that whatever it is that we decide to do, we have to be really clear about it with the external public so that folks don't get there and think that they're going to have an opportunity to ask a question and then they're not, right? Because that's not going to bode well. I think the other thing that's important when I'm thinking about this town hall, and while others have gone really well, that we may need a moderator, somebody who's going to be able to help facilitate the conversations or be able to sort of move us into some of the other questions, because we could very well get stuck on one question. And we need some interaction guidelines, right? So it's not personal. We're not discussing any personnel matters, but we can, take difficult questions that very well may come up. So I just think that those things need to be spelled out in advance. I mean, it's not deliberation because, we could have a conversation and say, oh, that's a really good idea, but we're not taking any votes that night.
That's how I'm looking at it, yes.
And then the last thing is that we have to provide hybrid access, right? So if we have our vice chair there that's going to be present virtually, then we're going to have to provide that to the public as well.
Similar to the public speak out.
Yes.
I'm envisioning it. And I would also suggest that we have a deadline, maybe a week or 2 weeks before the actual town hall meeting when the questions need to be submitted by. So we have a sign-up time, and that way the committee has time to address those questions and do whatever research is necessary.
Yeah, I just really want to underscore the moderator and the interaction guidelines. Right.
Go ahead, Ms. Crowe.
Sorry, just another quick thought. With that, I think that's really great, Hurst, in terms of your ideas, but also thinking about how are we giving this information to the public? What is that going to look like so that they know what the process is? Is it going to be the same way that they've always done?
Okay.
Or will it be something different because now this is something different? And so how are we sort of notifying the public of this opportunity to ask questions in advance, submit those, and what is that process going to look like, and how well in advance do they need to submit? So is that process already in play, or is that something we need to kind of think about too?
Well, part of the reason why we're talking about it tonight is to finalize the date, because we can't publicize it until we confirm the date. So the date that we have tentatively, when Trini was giving me the date, I was like, oh man, I looked at my calendar. I'm like, I thought it was a great day until now I got to do a whole presentation in Boston. So you know, it just is the way it is. We can't always control our work schedule. So with that though, the reality is once we confirm tonight, then Gazelle is able to go and do what they do as a team to publicize it and get the word out and all the things. And even with Assistant Superintendent Escobar and the family, parent facilitators and all the things, like they're able to go out and kind of push it out there to the families and to the folks.
All the way, even with the telephone calls. Again,
Thank you.
what Ms. Hurst brought up, the premise that Vice Chair Naylor's brought up, the premises is that when we ask for the questions ahead of time, we want to be able to answer those questions to the best of our ability and have the individuals there. And as Vice Chair Naylor had indicated, we don't want you to come here and say, well, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. So we're not trying to shut anybody down or anything. What's the questions? So if we can address them at that point in time, maybe there might be some that we can't because personnel, and if we could have the specialists could be there too, because we know what the questions are, and the premises that we want to be able to, address or clarify your point. So tonight's just is to try to get the date.
Yes.
I have a question.
Ms.
Vice Chair Naylor, how this is going to look like for families that English is not their first language? Are we giving them access to these town hall meetings?
Yes, yes. So in the past, what we've done is we had it in various languages, not just Spanish. We had Spanish. Sometimes we've had sign language. I think something happened, but we're bringing that back. So we're gonna make sure we have sign language as well. But we've had the Somali, French, like all of them. And so folks let us know in advance which language they needed, and we were able to accommodate. It's much easier to accommodate virtually if somebody's listening because then you can, the way they did it, and Bob would be able to tell you how much better than I could ever tell you how they worked the miracle of having 23 languages and having it translated to all the folks. But we have done it successfully, and so we'll definitely be able to do it again.
Thank you.
We did it at the emergency graduation at the
Yeah,
conservatory.
did.
The earpieces and headpieces we had, and we had the translators. I think Superintendent Denal indicated, I think it was either 5 or 7 different languages that we
5 languages
that were translated immediately while we were speaking. So we have the capability to do it. Any other questions or comments? But is everybody okay with the October 22nd? I don't know my schedule, but October 22nd date? Okay.
It should be.
I thought it was on a
Yeah, it is.
Thursday. I thought, because I thought it was a school committee type. I try to leave them open. Okay, it's a Thursday.
The NAACP dinner is that date, I think.
That I don't know.
We want to confirm that. So we're gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard. Did you hear, Mrs. Gresham, that
Yeah.
the NAACP dinner might be the same night?
We had that happen. We had
Actually,
that happen last year.
I can give you that date. It's October 29th.
Okay.
So we're good.
Do we have school committee that night? We might have school committee that night. I know last year it was a conflict.
It seems like it's on.
It's
not. Okay.
29th, not.
I think the way we organized it, our clerk scheduled it as if it was a week that we would have
Have a
school
school
committee,
committee, that's
but
what I thought.
instead we're having a town hall.
Yeah.
So that's the way it works. So we're good to go to the NAACP. So we should be fine. I just want everybody to know I feel like horrible. I may be able to still get there physically. I don't know, but I'm still working with the folks in Boston to try to get it to where I can have the other day instead of the day that they might have put me on. So hopefully I'll be there. Worst case, I'll be virtual.
Vice Chair, we appreciate your efforts. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none.
Thank you.
We are now going to move, and thank you, Amani Hines Combs, for your patience.
Yes, thank you for waiting.
We are now at influencing 100 school committee representative. The podium is yours, dear. And thank you for your patience too, by the way.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Superintendent Dr. Denal, yes.
As you can see in your packet, there's a little bit of information pertaining to Influence 100. I came into the district. Influence 100 was a program already established in the district. However, there were some needed to make some tweaks as to how it was implemented and carried out. So with that said, we wanted to ensure that we met all of the expected components that Desi laid out, and one of the expected components is that a school committee member actually commits to serve for 2 years as a representative for Springfield Public Schools in the Influence 100 program. There are several individuals that are here this evening, as well as others within the district who have successfully completed Influence 100, and it is a great opportunity for those who are aspiring to district level or superintendent level leadership opportunities and positions. It is also rooted and grounded in equity, because the goal is to increase the number of superintendents and district leaders of color throughout the state of Massachusetts. I believe when they initially started, the number was perhaps 2% or lower, and I believe now they're at 4% or 8%.
It was 4%.
4%, and now it's at 8%. Okay, so we are looking forward to increasing those numbers by having our local leaders participate. And I am pleased to say that Mrs. Imani Coombs Hines is here, and she is one of the individuals in the program. And she's here to explain to you what the program is, as well as the school committee commitment. And we wanted to make sure we did not violate open meeting law, so that you all could discuss it openly and freely among yourselves and make a decision as to who will serve. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I've prepared a short statement that I will shorten because so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, as well as some of the work I've been doing and what I hope to be able to do through this fellowship. So thank you for taking the time to hear about the opportunity that is the Influence 100 Fellowship. It was started to directly address the gap in leadership across the Commonwealth. As Dr. Denal said, when it started in 2019, only 4% of superintendents statewide were people of color. And 4 years ago, the then Deputy Commissioner of Education, Regina Robinson, asked me what my 5-year plan was to become superintendent, because at the time there were over 30 openings in our state alone, because people did not want that position. I emphatically stated I did not have one, because I had only recently become an associate principal, which was 2 steps past my own 5-year plan, which was to be an instructional coach within this district. Now, I do not know if becoming a superintendent is in the near or far future for me, but I do know that I desire to be ready to serve my community in any way that it needs me. And I do know that this fellowship provides me the opportunity to learn about leading change at a systems level, which is of high interest to me, not only for my future goals, but in my current role. As principal at Kiley Academy, my team and I have had many opportunities to build and strengthen systems, starting at the classroom level or with a small group of teachers to try something new and iterating and persisting and scaling until we built a sustainable system that can last school-wide. We've done initiatives that have focused on culture, which led to a school-wide change in how we celebrate students. Now we have celebrations every single morning in the auditorium. To family engagement, which resulted in our Family Empowerment Council that's allowed our families to get feedback not just on school policies, the things they have asked for actually live in our vision, but also on state initiatives. So our families were actually able to give feedback to DESE on the Family MCAS portal that just went live this summer. As well as Discourse, which resulted in the development of a school-wide language support for students that's been shared with over 50 schools across the state. And we're currently working with Literacy, which started with just a small team of teachers just looking to improve their own practice in service of students, and that's what our focus has been this year. I'm very interested to see what this looks like at the district level. More specifically, how can a system this big take a practice happening in a single school or classroom and scale it in a way that breeds longevity? I'm deeply interested in understanding the broader workings of our district, the ways we engage with all of our stakeholders, with our data, with all of the inputs that lead to decision making. I'm a naturally curious person, and if you can't call me anything else, you can call me a lifelong learner. As a teacher, I served on DESI's Teacher Advisory Cabinet, and I did the Curate Fellowship, which rated some of those curriculums that you can see in that website today. And as a leader, I've sought to improve my knowledge across all areas, most recently completing with a team at my school, 1/8 Applied Learning Leadership Institute, as well as joining the Inclusive Leader Association hosted by DESI, since 40% of the students at our school have an IEP, and having an inclusive school with inclusive practices is incredibly important to me and my families. My goals in this fellowship are to, one, develop the skills, knowledge, and resources required to address systems-level issues, and to leverage my current role in school to help better address the district's priorities, particularly middle school transformation and college and career readiness. The requirements of a school committee member are not insignificant. It is a 2-year commitment. There are 4 virtual meetings per year, and I would be honored and privileged to work with any one of you on this journey. I also hope that this can be an opportunity for any of you who choose to be a part of this as a way to collaborate from leaders across our state so that we can better serve our community. All right, that's what I got. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Presentation. Any questions, comments? Come on. Ms. Sears?
So is it one school committee member per participant, or is it one school committee member that covers the district?
That's a good question. We currently only have one participant for Imani. We did not have one in the past because of a variety of reasons. However, I believe that one school committee member is going to make an executive decision. Will serve for the district.
And chair and vice chair, does that necessitate a vote, or does that have to go on to the next?
Yes, that's what I'm assuming, and I'm seeing our attorney nod his head.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We like done with other, yeah. Okay.
There is a deadline.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
So is there an urgency to make a decision?
Yes, there's an urgency in the decision because we
Okay.
wanted to make sure we did not violate any open meeting laws. We
Sure.
until we had a full meeting.
Okay.
They had asked us for the name of the participant in July, and we let them know that this was going to be our first meeting of the year.
Why don't we, we'll see who has interest, and then we'll get it on the agenda. Ms. Gresham?
It's a 2-year commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 4 virtual meetings
4 virtual meetings
per year.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And there is a graduation that the school committee may want to attend, especially the person who decides to be the representative. So it would be the 4 virtual, and it's optional, but it is a graduation celebration.
I would say that the people who graduate also present at DESI. They have like an event they do twice a year. And so the action plan that the graduates complete gets presented so they can show like what their work and what their process was at that district level. And I went last year and they were very, very fascinating.
Oh. The 10th.
All right, so
So
we'll get it on the agenda.
I do have a question or a thought. I don't know if it's a question, it's more of a thought. Is that I don't think that because it being a 2-year duration, I don't think that it should be something that by default is the chair, the vice chair. So I do think that if anyone is interested, that we do need folks to self-identify if they're interested, and then that way when we go to vote on the 10th, then we'll know who's interested. So I'm stating that as the vice chair. I don't want it to be assumed
Yeah.
that I would be the person, because then that's 2 years, and then whoever's vice chair next year wouldn't have the opportunity. So we need to just let that be a decision that folks want to self-select if they're interested.
We're open to suggesting. My schedule gets difficult, so it'll be tough for me to commit.
Mm-hmm.
They have not provided us the dates yet. I'm pretty sure they're going to provide those to us on the 8th, which is when I have the orientation.
Okay, so you have an orientation on the 8th.
We have our meeting on the 10th.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yes, thank you. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll get it on the agenda for the 10th. You have the orientation on the 8th. You'll be able to clarify some more information. And whether it's Miss Hurst or someone else on the school committee, I'm sure they'll step up. And I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations.
And thanks for your patience. Okay, we'll now move the reports of standing committees. And once again, a lot of the votes we took, they were vetted through these committees. A is student and parent concerns, Ms. Gresham.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did have a student and parent concerned meeting. It was informational discussion regarding Meta AI. That was the only thing that was on the agenda, so we have nothing to bring to the full committee for a vote.
Thank you, Ms. Gresham. That's an important subject of the pros and cons of that. Thank you. Any questions or comments, Ms. Gresham?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. What did
Did-
you all discuss? I didn't make that. It was just that they was talking about the legal part of it. So I guess it's passed already, because I heard, yes, yes. So it talked about Instagram, but it was a couple of them. Informational stuff.
Action on the use. Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Thank you, Ms. Gresham. And any other more questions or comments, Ms. Gresham? Report? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to B, Buildings and Maintenance Committee.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. C is Legislative Contracts Committee, Ms. Crawford. We have plenty of contracts.
Yes, we had, you're correct. We had 20 contracts during that subcommittee that we had to go through. So we brought them to the full body today. So we were able to vote on them. And we did have a lively discussion as well. And we did have some concerns that were addressed today too as well. So that's all I have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Thank you for your due diligence with the committee, too. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. D is Curriculum Programs. Ms. Hurst, please.
No report at this time.
Thank you. E is Budget and Finance. Vice Chair Naylor, please.
No report at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Chair Naylor. F is Career Technical Education. Mr. Gomez, please.
No report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. G is Technology. Vice Chair Naylor.
No report. We have a meeting coming up and hope to have one next time.
Okay. H is School Safety, Ms. Gresham. Thank you. I is Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Ms. Crawford.
No report at this time, Chair.
Thank you. J is Innovation School. I know Ms. Valentin's, we've done a lot of work priorly on that. Any report at all?
No report at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll now move to the report of Superintendent Dr. Denault, please.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. So happy New Year. It's great to be back. We are so looking forward to an amazing school year. I have some great news to share with us, some data to share, and just how we kicked off the school year to ensure that all of our students and families and staff members are ready to thrive and be their very best in this 2027 school year. So I have some good news from a great place, and that great place is none other than Springfield Public Schools.
Yes.
And our administrators, our administrators meeting was a very strong start. We had it on August 13th. We did receive feedback from our administrators that we needed to make some adjustments. So we are an administration that listens, and so we made the adjustments, and they were pleased to be able to address some of the urgent needs in their buildings for a portion of what usually was the professional development days that were set aside. Our administrators are encouraged and motivated. They're receiving the support that they need in order to start strong, maintain that momentum, and to finish strong at the end of the school year. Convocation, we showcased our brilliant and talented and articulate students. We're so grateful that the school committee was there to cheer us along and to help us to start the school year motivated, full of energy, full of hope full of faith, and of course, full of beliefs. I have to applaud each one of you who spoke and contributed. Just an amazing show of unity and solidarity as we work together to make the district truly a bright spot in Massachusetts. I was impressed, Mr. Mayor, that you named so many of our current city leaders as graduates of Springfield Public Schools, which is just a living testimony of how Springfield Public Schools really does provide a world-class education to our students, and you could lead from anywhere as long as you've received an education in Springfield Public Schools. So we are definitely looking forward to ensuring that all of our students are positioned to take on the world. I'd also like to just point out some of our MCAS 500 Club members. There are members of our schools. As you know, we have the 500 Club. So there are individual schools who have joined the 500 Club in various grade levels. Beale has joined the 500 Club, grade 5 Science. Harris has joined the 500 Club, grade 3 and 5 ELA, as well as grades 3 and 4 Math. Zanetti has joined the 500 Club, grades 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 in ELA, grades 3, 4, and 6 in Math, and grade 8 in Science. And Warner has joined the 500 Club in grades 3, 4, and 5 in Math. And we have Chestnut Tag, also members of the 500 Club for the 2026 school year, grades 6, 7, 8 ELA, grade 6 Math, and grade 8 Science. So we put our hands together for members of the 500 Club. And we also wanted to make sure that we included our exceptional learners in the 500 Club. They have a slightly different MCAS assessment. It's called the ALT. And we wanted to applaud those schools that received a 500 in their exceptional learners, with their exceptional learners. So Bolin entered the 500 Club for math. Brookings also for math, Central for math and science, Bradley for ELA, and Harris for ELA and math. And these are the schools that include groups of 10 or more students who received a 500 or higher on their ALT. That means each and every one of their students received a score of 500. We have several other schools who also achieved a score of 500 that have fewer than 10 students in their program. So that would be Bradley, Bowles, Brookings, Glickman, Harris, Indian Orchard, Lincoln, Public Day Elementary, Sumner, Talmadge, Washington, Impact Prep, Kylie Academy, Kylie Prep, Zanetti, Duggan, SciTech, Renaissance, and Virtual Schools. So we definitely have quite a few schools that we need to applaud and celebrate for the job well done. Job well done. You know, it's so wonderful. We set a goal. We saw the numbers. We took the data. We recognized that some schools were falling short within the 465 range and the 485 range. With a few tweaks and under the leadership of Dr. McCarthy, we were able to significantly increase the number of our alt scores that achieved 500. So we're really pleased with those outcomes. Our celebration continues. We're celebrating the success of a significant decrease in chronic absenteeism. As you know, if students aren't in school, they are not learning. And so we want to make sure that we keep our eye on chronic absenteeism as well as average daily attendance. We're pleased to announce that Harena had an 11.7 percentage point decrease in their chronic absenteeism rate. Kensington, you're going to definitely want to hold your applause. We have several more. So Kensington had a 10.9 percentage point decrease. Liberty had a 5.4 percentage point decrease. Forest Park had a 10.4% percentage point decrease. Legacy Academy was 9.7 percentage points. Van Sickle Prep 7.5, South End 6.2, Public Day Middle 6.1, and Academy at Cali 5.8. We are truly impressed with Discovery with a 28.7 percentage point decrease, Aspire a 19% percentage point decrease, and Success Academy had a 9.7 percentage point decrease. This is a serious accomplishment that deserves being celebrated and elevated. We seldom only look at the district number, but taking a look at the hard work of the individual schools is definitely worth highlighting. So we put our hands together.
Dr. If I just could say on the last three you spoke of,
Yes.
those schools are out of the box type thinking schools.
Yes.
And, you hook those kids in, or young men or young ladies in it, where they weren't thriving in other places. That's quite a testament. It's quite a testament. So those are those out of the box schools. One is which right next door to us at City Hall. Those are the crime kids, and they're coming to school now and lead to better opportunities. So congratulations on that, Dr. Donnell.
Well done. My team is who I applaud. So I appreciate the hard work of our principals as well as the leadership of Dr. Escribano. Attendance does fall under his purview, and we can see that his team is doing a great job. Fast for completion. We'd like to celebrate our high schools. We know that the governor has will be implementing new graduation requirements. FAFSA and MASFA completion are part of those requirements. We mentioned 2 years ago that Springfield was moving in that direction. I think the state was spying on us because they are also moving in that direction, have moved in that direction. Springfield is ahead of the game. Honors Academy had 100% fast for completion for each of their graduates who walked the stage in June. Emergence Academy, 92.3%. Discovery, 90.9%. Conservatory, 87.5%. Renaissance, 86.4%. Duggan, 82.4%. Putnam, 75.2%. Central, 74.4%. SciTech, 71.2%. Rise Prep, 68.4%. And Virtual, 61.9%. Please note what a heavy lift this is for our larger comprehensive high schools who have hundreds of seniors graduating in June. It's a heavy lift across the district. However, those high schools really have a task in front of them. And we so appreciate the leadership and the work of Dr. Yolanda Johnson as she leads the counselors. The district experienced a 9 percentage point increase in FAFSA completion. So we applaud that.
And just the parents that might be watching also, thanks to Governor Healy about the free community college, you still have to complete that FAFSA in order to qualify for that. Obviously, if you want to move a four-year institution, but you still have to do the FAFSA. So Dr. Johnson, thank you, Yolanda, very, very much on that. So you have to complete it, and then you can get that free community college education.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out, Mr. Mayor. In addition to that, our Pell Grant can now be used for career pathways.
That's right.
So making sure you complete that FAFSA not only positions schools now qualify for the Pell Grant. And the only way you can get those funds is if you complete the FAFSA. So again, it will be a graduation requirement. However, there is an opt-out opportunity for parents and families that are not able to complete it, but we are heartened by these results that we see. Very heartened by it. Again, congratulations. Our advanced coursework completion rate has also increased. We went from 46.4% in 2024 to 50% in 2025. That means more and more of our students are taking advantage of advanced coursework and is positioning them to enter college or the career field with the skills that they need in order to access the workplace, as well as some of our students, and you heard it during Discovery's graduation, will enter college as juniors because of the number of credits they attained while in high school. That is a significant savings to our families and our students as they look forward to post-secondary success. So we're grateful for those gains as well. My cap completion has also increased again. Desi was spying on us because 2 years ago we started talking about MyCap completion, and we also incorporated that into the data set that we monitor each and every year. So we went from 53% in school year 25 to 58% in school year 2026. So thank you all so much for your hard work in increasing those MyCap tasks in order to prepare our students for their future aspirations and goals. We already talked about the graduation rate. I know that we already awarded our principals in our schools for their hard work. And we also talked about the decrease in the dropout rate as well. So we just want to make sure that we put our hands together for them again, because you can never celebrate hard work enough. So we celebrate them again. Post-secondary enrollment rate for students enrolling in college immediately following graduation in June or August. So this means that they're not delaying their enrollment. They're going straight into college. We had a slight increase in that area as well. We increased by 2 percentage points. So we're glad that more students are realizing their post-secondary dreams and aspirations of college completion by enrolling in those opportunities earlier than before. Yay. We would be remiss if we left off career pathways. So we're celebrating our CTE accomplishments, industry recognized certifications and trainings that were completed by our graduates. This is an impressive list of industry recognized certifications and truly positions our students to stand out among others who are entering the career field. 144 students completed OSHA 10 training. 56 earned their CPR or first aid certification. 44 earned CNA licensure before graduating. 39 earned ServSafe, certifications. 30 earned Microsoft certifications and credentials. 27 earned Google Digital Marketing badges. 19 earned Adobe Photoshop certifications. 14 earned refrigeration certification, which is really impressive. 13 certified to earn certifications as to teach pre-K and preschool. So those 13 who are certified, I'm hoping we already hired them, because we are looking forward to putting them in the para pipeline to ensure that they become our teachers. 11 earned CompTIA certifications, and 9 earned the Barberside certification. So we have 9 more barbers in the community to make our men look handsome. Congratulations, CTE.
Is that a combination between, of course, all the programs that are happening at Putnam, but any of the ones that are happening at Tech as well?
This is district-wide. District-wide. So we are definitely tracking all of our CTE opportunities throughout the district. So congratulations to all. We can't leave out athletics, so we definitely have some sports highlights. I won't go through all of them, but we know that we had Western Mass qualifiers for our Central boys soccer, girls volleyball, Putnam's volleyball. We had state qualifiers for Commerce, SciTech, Putnam, Central Renaissance. We already know we had the Western Mass champions for basketball. Congratulations to Central girls and SciTech boys. And we know that Central boys and Central girls were Western Mass Division I runner-ups and state runner-ups. So congratulations to basketball. We can't leave out wrestling. Duggan girls, Division III state runner-ups. Individual state champions. We had Ajanai Rodriguez at Duggan and Isabella Perez at Central, and Storm Pizarro at Putnam, and Liana Watson at Putnam. I'm so glad that our girls see themselves as wrestlers. That is so impressive. Well done, young ladies. Well done. And we will not leave out our men, Central boys, 17-1 undefeated league champions. undefeated league champions. And we also had multiple All-State and New England qualifiers across Duggan, Central, and Putnam. Swimming, I believe we already celebrated Sebastian Medina, Western Mass champion. So of all the swimmers in the pool at Western Mass, Mr. Medina finished first with a 100 backstroke. Welcome. Western Mass Champs Central Baseball Team, Division One, and state quarterfinals, Central, SciTech, and Renaissance. Congratulations to our student athletes. Keep up the good work. Visual and performing arts. You know our hearts and our lives are enriched by music, so we are so grateful for the leadership of none other than DJ Bernie Bernice. He's our DJ, our district DJ. So he's always providing music for all of our events, so we appreciate him. And we're just celebrating that national model. He is actively and strategically making sure that each and every one of our 71 schools has access to rigorous, enriching, meaningful, and joyful opportunities for our students to engage in music and the performing arts. We are already aware of Ignite and the phenomenal job that they do. Several of his mentors come back year after year. They worked with him over the summer. They left their college campuses and college opportunities for summer employment to come back to the city and to contribute and pay it forward. They're phenomenal young men and young women who are just doing a job that goes above and beyond what we could ever ask and think of our graduates, as well as those who are still currently in the district as students. Mentoring through dance, mentoring through theater, and mentoring through college and careers in the arts is the focus of visual and performing arts in the city of Springfield. Congratulations and keep up the work. So we continue to improve student learning outcomes by focusing on Tier 1 instruction, and we most definitely will be unveiling our strategic growth plan for the district. Strategic growth plan for the district will be shared in a subsequent meeting, and we want to make sure that we understand that there are some shifts based on the data from the focus groups, the subcommittees, the committees, community members, family members, district staff. There are a number of people who contributed to those sessions to collect the data, analyze the data, find the trends and the themes and the patterns to determine what we need to do as a district to ensure that all of our students have equitable access to high level and very rigorous educational opportunities. So we look forward to more information on the plan of practice moving forward. I did mention Tier 1 instruction. We are excited about being able to roll out a coaching model, the Diane Sweeney model, that all of our accelerating achievement schools will be participating in, and we're going to roll it out district-wide. We actually selected this model by ensuring that all stakeholders were at the table, and we selected it based on feedback and research, and we wanted to make sure that no voice was left behind. We included all voices to contribute to this decision making, which increases buy-in. So we're looking forward to everyone being on board and on the same page and be very diligent and intentional with implementing this district-wide coaching model that promises to lift Tier 1 instruction from where it is to where it needs to be in order for our teachers and our students and our families to receive the type of educational instruction that they need in order to succeed and excel. Herein ends my report for our first meeting back. I took a note of when I started at 9:05. I am happy that we were able to share the good news from the great place. Springfield Public Schools has always been a great school system. We always know that we've had some challenges as the community changes, the needs change, society changes. We have to pivot and change to meet those needs. So I am grateful that we have like-minded individuals at this table. We have like-minded individuals throughout the community. We have like-minded individuals throughout the district who are determined to pivot and change to meet the needs of our students and make sure that we continue to establish Springfield as one of the best places that you can receive a PK through 12. Thank you all for listening.
I remember Dr. Denal saying in our last meeting of the prior school year, that she curtailed her report. She goes, but I will have good news to report as we start the new school year through her hard work and all the administrators and teachers. And she has that, and the motto, good news, begins with belief.
Yes,
So
that's right. That's right.
we don't tell our own story, somebody else will. And usually it's not the way we want it to come out. So it was well worth it. Any questions or comments on Dr. Denal's report? Okay, hearing none. That was great news. Hearing none. Unfinished business, hearing none.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Mayor.
I do have just
Okay.
a few things I wanted to just quickly. I'm not
Vice Chair Naylor.
trying to belabor anything,
No,
but I
no,
do want to bring up a few things for Mr. Clerk.
I tried, Ian. I tried.
The first thing is if we could, I don't know which subcommittees these things go under, so I just want to bring up the issue so that we can figure it out and ensure that when the next subcommittee meetings are scheduled, that they are added. So the first thing is I want us to discuss the policy on student transfer when students move and they have to be assigned to a boundary school. If we can revisit that policy, I know that's something that we were supposed to revisit last year, and I don't think that we did. And then the second thing is I would like an update on the elevator status at SciTech as to when it's going to be completed. And the third thing is the calendar planning for next year. When is that going to start so that we can ensure that we are being responsive to the request for folks to be engaged in that process. That is it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Naylor. Ms. Crawford, any questions, comments on that? Ms. Crawford, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Chair. I had some unfinished business. We had a subcommittee meeting for, I believe it was legislative and contracts a while ago about the transportation issue with the holding center. And so I believe Superintendent, your staff had mentioned that they were going to go and check it out and take a look and see what modifications or improvements that we could do. And so I'd love to hear what those things are and if they were able to look at the place, because we just want to make sure that it was up to par, because I think the critical piece was we had some special ed students that were held there, and there were some concerns around that. So we just want to make sure with Dr. McCarthy's assistance that we're looking at improving that particular area. So I wanted to share that. And then another thing, I wanted to find out, have we ever had a plumbing program at Putnam? So I was just curious, and if
I'm not sure, but we can get that information for you.
okay,
Sure.
all right. Just wanted to find out about that, and if we have or haven't, and I wondered if we could consider creating a program around plumbing. Thank you.
There's good money in that. I could have been an instructor, I'm not sure on it.
But what I was going to say is that I've heard the call to action around the plumbing program at Putnam. And I do think it's not that simple to start, as you probably well know. But it might be helpful, especially for the new members, to hear how Chapter 74 works and what goes into starting a particular program. And it's not to say that we wouldn't consider it, but I just think that for new members as well as for the public to understand the front end investment that has to happen, that it's not something that's just so simple that we just aren't doing it because we don't recognize that there's a need or we don't think that there's value, but that there's a real it takes a lot of work, and there's a level of credentialing, and then you have to have the folks who are come in and teach it, and not every single program is reimbursable. So just so folks know in the community, but it might be helpful to have a vocational subcommittee and have some of the folks from, or the Chapter 74 coordinator, share what it's like to have to actually bring a program into fruition.
And explain the difference between chapters.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Plus, garnering the materials and supplies and the certified instructors, some who will be coming right from the field also, what qualifications they have to go into Chapter 74. But if you can do that, maybe you can see what might be possible. And they also, the career path and that. But I'd have to say with plumbing and electrician that there's a good career path with that anyway.
I was just going to talk about the program in there, because they complete the courses, but they still, by law, have to complete certain hours with a certified electrician.
Their apprentice,
And,
they have
and
apprentice work.
you know,
Same thing with plumbers. You got to do.
yeah, it's going to be the same with plumbers,
Same
but
thing.
that's something that we can probably look into it and, use the community, use their work, try to find out how they can build those hours into the coursework. So once they graduate, they have the certificate.
You're absolutely right. You
The
have to
license.
have the. You have
They,
to have.
they currently do build those hours in. Each union is slightly different. And so the number of hours that the students are able to achieve while they're in school is usually the maximum number. And then they have to do additional hours
Yeah.
outside once they graduate. So it varies from union to union. So it would be helpful for us to know what the requirements are and see if
Right.
there's any adjustments we can make.
And the building trades have been very, very good about promoting the apprenticeship program because they want to build their ranks also too.
Right, maybe
Any other unfinished business?
Yeah, we can partner up with some unions or
Yeah, no, we do that. New business. Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion made by Ms. Hurst. Is there a second? Second by Ms. Gretchen. Roll call vote is must be called. Mr. Clerk, Trini, please call the roll.
Ms. Valentin.
Yes.
Ms. Crawford.
Yes.
Ms. Hurst.
Yes.
Mr. Gomez.
Yes.
Ms. Gresham.
Yes.
Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Mayor Sarno.
Yes, more than sufficient votes, matter passes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for watching. Good health and God bless.